Stop listening to atheist YouTubers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it sure does. Jonathan Pridgett was silenced there. He didn't know what to say. He goes, oh no, if I admit Jesus drowned babies, PineCreek's gonna play it. That's an old clip, by the way. That clip is at least 2 years old, maybe even 3. I did a video on things Christians can't dare to say, and they, oh yeah, we'll watch this. We'll say it. Jesus did drown babies. I love it. We haven't heard from Satan in a while. How's she doing? She is doing just fine. She's off vacationing right now at the the Antarctic Circle. She's looking at the ice wall there, admiring its beauty and keeping the whole world together. New mic? No, not a new mic. Why? Just because I'm loud? It's a new me. What is this? Is that dandruff? No, that's not dandruff. I don't have dandruff. I lose hair, not skin cells. Who was here first? Oh, by the way, Danny and Darkin and Oak River, I still don't have access to go live on TikTok. Tim Doran. Yes, you are first. 10,000 Pine Points. Tim Doran is such a great guy. He got in trouble with the cartel, I think. The cartel out of either Colombia or Mexico. He owed $8 million. And he's such a great guy. He negotiated his survival and his family's survival by moving down to some place in Missouri. Great guy, though. Tim Doran, great guy. Say 10, 5,000 Pine Points to you. Hope we get some real Christians on today. Well, supposedly, a guy named The Layman's Perspective is going to be here. In fact, tag me and let me know if you're here. I'll get you on right away. And Jeff, awesome, good old non-profit entertainment. Yes, and 1,000 Pine Points to you. And I think God equals the square root of -1. Sorry, great name, but you're going to have to leave. How is God just like a regular man? Well, see, you're asking stupid questions. Not only are you here fourth, which is a stupid thing to do, you ask stupid questions. When your IQ hits 80, sell. I know someone's just said that Mr. Deity just made a video about me. He's here. Post the link. Where is he? Okay, I'll post the link. So, Layman's Perspective. Tag me. Do you know what that means? I used to not like you, but now I love you, says Landon Metochos. Why didn't you not like me? I guess it takes a while. You know, once you get to know me, I'm a real treat. The other criteria that I can think of is you have to be over the age of 16. Yeah, I put in my date of birth. One thing is I just had a video that was removed. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It was about the same time as me hitting 1,000 followers. You can't mention the word hell and lesbian and gay in the same sentence. You can't. On TikTok. If you do that on TikTok, it automatically goes. It doesn't matter what you're saying about it. Just don't say hell and gay in the same sentence. Gay hell, hell gay. See, here, YouTube, I'm still here, right? Testing. I thought you were awful when I first met you, says Danny. Shh, the layman's perspective is coming. If you're here, I think whoever said that is lying to me. But the layman's perspective, if you are here, what's your first name? You don't say. You don't say. My name is Nathan. Click on that link. Oh, I gotta pin it. I noticed Nathan did the link thing, but I gotta pin it. There we go. Maybe he's here. I don't have mine open yet. Soon as I open this, my audio is going to suck. Not suck, but I'm going to have to fight it for 3 hours. It's the way life is. I've come to accept it. I've come to accept that life is horrible. I mean, eternal conscious torment is me having to forcibly hold my audio levels because there's a bug in Windows 10 or something. Maybe I do have to get Apple. But anyhow, I was saying that Mr. Deity just did a video about me according to someone. Oh, are you here? Yes, you are here. So your name is David. How are you doing, David?
Give me a sec. I'm getting double audio.
Well, that's because you got a tab open. Just close the YouTube tab.
Am I okay to close the YouTube tab?
Yes. Close it down quickly.
Okay, I'm closing the YouTube tab
before the world implodes.
Okay.
I guess.
Am I coming through all clear?
Yes, you're coming in all clear. Let me. What do I do? I need to do something though here. So what do you know about me?
I decided. So when I first watched your live stream, I was driving home from my last route, and then I was like, "Oh, what I'll do is I'll research and I'll find all your weaknesses, and then I'm gonna come on and like school you." But then what I thought is there's not a lot of research to do on me, and I thought it'd be not nearly as fun to do that. And so I know very little about you. I saw one episode. And then I watched a short part of the episode with the Orthodox guy. That was really encouraging to me. He seemed like a good guy.
The Orthodox guy.
So that's all I know about you. It was months ago, man. What was?
Because I had a couple of Orthodox guys on.
He was nice. I mean so that's all I know of you.
Okay.
And if my mic is loud, I can turn it down.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect.
Okay.
Are you Orthodox? It seems like you kind of liked Orthodox.
No, I just like Christians.
Okay.
No, I'm not Orthodox. I have a respect for they're a different tradition. I'm a Westerner, bro. So no, I'm not Byzantine or anything like that. But I do have a general distant respect for their traditions.
What kind of personality type are you? Are you the type of guy that just goes straight into the meat, or do you the type of guy you got to get to buy me dinner and see a movie first before we dance?
I'm cheap, so if you'll buy me dinner, I'll take you up on that offer any day. There's no doubt about it. I think that when you say personality type, or what are you referring to? What spectrum are you talking about?
Are you the type of guy who just give me the facts, sir or ma'am, skip all the other stuff. Let's just go straight to the meat. I don't need to hear this. I don't need to hear that. Or are you the type of person who's like, you love nuance. You love to get into the detail. Are you a detailed-oriented person? Are you more quality over quantity, quantity over quality? What are you? Mm-hmm. What's your natural instinct?
That's a good question. I believe it depends on the topic somewhat. I believe that certain topics are very detail-oriented, and it's necessary for you to be substantive and nuanced. And other issues, I think it makes it kind of dull. So, for instance, I on a couple of the first dates I went on, I thought that substance and nuance was the key. It is not. So here's my dating advice for today. It is not. Focus more on narrative and personal, non-substantive anecdotes. Way better on dates. So it depends on the topic, but on topics of great importance where there is either a division within myself or within society at large, I do find it helpful to kind of have more source material and go into that source material fairly deeply, if it's necessary and if I have the ability to do it. So maybe that answers the question.
Well, my dating advice is just have your parents fix you up. Like it should all be prearranged.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing in the future. So yeah, it's like what I'm thinking about with the ordained marriage is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bishop of the particular diocese and just have him pull a name out of a hat, and we're just going to work some random
So you do
association
lean
out.
Catholic or Orthodox. I can tell by the language you're using.
No, I don't. No, Catholic and Orthodox are not the same line of traditions, or at least they haven't.
I know,
been
but you
for
use the same language, words, diocese. Like evangelical Protestant never says
Okay,
that
okay,
word.
okay. Look. I'll put it out on the table because I've seen some people kind of do this to you, and I saw them do it the last episode. So I'll be up for it. I am a Protestant Christian. You kept calling for normal Christians in the last episode, and I think I shared your sentiment. It's like, why won't a normal Christian who's just a member of a church come on? So I am just a normal Christian. I was raised in the Protestant realm in a very non-traditional background, very like anti-Catholic, anti-Orthodox. I mean, Christmas was too Catholic for my family, so it's like very anti-traditional. But right now I'm a normal Protestant evangelical Christian. I love Christ. I believe the Bible. I'm a member of a church.
I gotta test you to see
obviously.
how normal you are.
Okay, sure, let's do it.
Can we do a speed round? So this is no wrong answers. I just want to know where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Do you lean Calvinist or non-Calvinist?
Yeah, so we are a Calvinistic church. We hold to the
Okay, no, that's all I need to know.
Synod.
You lean Calvinist.
Well, wait, let me share my Calvinist bona fides. We hold as a confession of our church the three forms of unity. One of them is the Synod of Dort, which has been known as the 5 points of Calvinism. So I literally submit to the confessional creed of Calvinism in the classical sense.
Okay, see that our whole conversation is gonna be different now based on that answer. Okay, but let's get into some other little stuff. Do you believe that all 66 books of the Bible are inspired by the Word of God, or do you think there should be more books?
Yeah, that's a fair question. So we submit to the 66 books of the canon, the Protestant canon, as they've been passed down, and yeah, I believe they're inspired. Everything in them is the Word of God.
The Word of God. Okay. Now, just little piddly things like, do you think the Earth is closer to 10,000 years old or billions of years old?
That's a good question. I think that
I'm getting crackles in your mic now. Something just happened, like 30 seconds ago.
Okay, are you still getting it?
Yeah.
Let me adjust my connections here. Just let me know if it gets better or worse or
maybe
anything.
Try turn it off, turn it on, unplug in.
Okay, I'll turn it off and turn it back on. Okay. Is it better?
No.
Better? Worse?
No.
Okay.
Like actually pull the cord out of the bottom of it and put it back in.
If that works.
There you go. Now it's back in. Now I can't hear you at all, but the crackling's gone. But now just reset your, yeah. I don't think a settings changed the headphone mic because I didn't, like besides the crackling, I didn't hear a difference in quality. I still don't hear you. Try refreshing right here, like in whereby, top left, the little circle. Yeah, I noticed that too. When I asked, do you, he answers, so we. It's interesting, right? Very community based. I never do that. I mean, like, so we as atheists, believe that there is no gods. Only true atheists, we believe, I mean, we gotta support certain ideas. Yeah, I was scared. I'm scared to even mention crackling of mics. Because, you know, who knows? No, it might not ever come back. Oh well. Such is life. So much rapport, it's going to be hard. Why is your pretentious voice so good? It's almost suspicious. Well, I have noticed my audio levels are not dropping today. Something changed and I did nothing. I don't know. Who knows these things? I wish there was an omniscient God who could tell me what happened with my audio. Why is it so good today? Why am I not fighting it like every day? Why is it working today? It's the first time it's worked in probably a year. The room is unlocked. I will see him knock. So I'm keeping it locked. I just don't want any flag waving phony in here. Oh, I know. He forgot the link and I unpinned it. That's my guess is what happened. So David, if you can hear me, the link's up now. And anybody who's not David, the guy I was just talking to, don't call in. Don't be an idiot. Like David Worrell. No, not actually. Was your name David too? Don't call in. Plus, you know I don't like talking with you. I mean, I like it, but no, not really. You're not even a theist. Come on. There we go. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Oh, it's beautiful. There. Now, I don't know why the cracking started.
Wonderful.
It's not here now. But anyhow, let's...
Am I blurry on your end? Is my camera coming in really blurry?
No, you're clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff then.
So if you don't have a girlfriend already, I think you're well on your way.
Are you talking about the David or someone else?
No, you're the David. Is that how you refer to yourself? The David?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I sometimes refer to myself in third person when I'm around children because I love to confuse children. It is particularly adorable to see a child confused. But that's
okay. I just got to know where you're coming from. A couple more speed round questions. Right. Earth. I just need to know one or the other. Is it close to 10,000 years or billions of years in your opinion?
Yeah. This is something I've thought a lot about, and I have a friend who works in physics. And
no, I don't care about your friend in physics. I just
okay, fine.
10,000 or billion?
I would guess it would probably be something like 10,000 or something like that. That would be my general guess.
The flood in Genesis. You lean more local or global?
That's a good question too. My original reading of the text would make me think it was global in nature. Okay.
I know where you're coming from now. Would you agree with this statement? One of the core aspects of Christianity is that a man named Jesus lived in the first century. He was God incarnate. He died and he rose again bodily to save the world from their sins. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, he was born of a virgin before he died, for sure. But yeah, I mean, everything in the Nicene Creed, I believe with absolute certainty.
Okay. So that's the groundwork. I really have a good idea, I think, where you're coming from now. Do you believe it's possible that a God could exist and that Christianity is false?
Oh, that a God could exist in Christianity to be false. It's a good question. Hypothetically, yeah, it's possible.
Okay. So now my question for you is, why do you personally believe Christianity is true? And we'll be more specific. Why do you think a man was God in the first century, died, and rose bodily?
Yeah, okay. Well, am I allowed to ask you questions throughout this?
Yeah. In fact, why don't we take turns, or we can like, I don't want to make it too rigid, like, but yeah, let's start with this one, and then you can ask me questions back.
Yeah, this is going a lot like my first date. It's like an interview, you know? That's a joke. Supposed to be, but it's kind of true. So you phrased it in why do I personally believe in Christianity? Well, my personal experience with Christianity is I was raised in a very non-traditional home, and yet my parents were professing Christian, and so I presume from the youngest age that I would know of, I would have believed it because my parents believed it. And most of my worldview was influenced, especially throughout my younger years, by everything my parents believed. So, like, for instance, I grew up and I believed everything that I thought Christmas bad because Christmas tradition, you know? And so I didn't really have the intelligence or the external perspective to question whether or not that was true or not. It was just my parents believed it. And so I believed it. And so initially, my personal experience would be I believed Christianity because my parents believed Christianity.
I love that answer because that's very honest, and a lot of Christians don't admit that that's probably the real and right answer of at least why they initially believed it. Is because they were raised to believe it.
Well, a lot of Christians are Baptist, and I'm not. So a Presbyterian would give you that answer.
But now, after years of reflection, how old are you, may I ask? Like,
yeah, I'm 24.
Okay, so now that as a 24-year-old, I think you and I both realize that that's a horrible reason to say Christianity is true because your parents taught you.
Yeah.
So as a man today, what would you say is the reason why you believe Christianity is true?
Yeah, so I think the objective claim of Christianity presents itself not as a scientific thesis or anything like that, but it is it presents itself as the natural and realistic relation of man unto God, man unto the world, and really just an entire comprehensive worldview on everything. And so for it to be false, which if you were to demonstrate it as false, it would be relatively easy to do so. Because it would be so very false.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I'm understanding you. Are you saying one should assume Christianity is true until proven false?
No.
Okay. Good.
Christianity presents itself as the absolute truth. And so it would be relatively easy to demonstrate it to be false.
Okay.
So my central thesis, I probably didn't word it well. So I would word it like this. If I were to give a thesis in a debate and have to debate for Christianity, my thesis would be the impossibility of the contrary. Christianity is so evidently true that for it to be false, everything else that I believe would be relatively false, including.
Okay, so you're saying that you believe it's true because it's impossible not to be true?
No, it's impossible for me to believe anything is true unless Christianity and the central tenet of Christianity is first
and you're
true.
crackling his back. Did you do something different just now? Did you touch something or?
I'm always touching something. How bad's the crackling?
It's bad enough that we can't continue. But there's something that you did. I don't know if it's static electricity. I don't know. Can someone tell me?
I'll try to switch to a secondary microphone. Maybe that will help. Is this can you hear me now?
Well, you got to turn off your other one that's crackling first. No, I don't hear you, but no, nothing yet. Make sure it's on. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Say something.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, put the mic a little closer to you.
Here, I can turn it up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Is that good?
That's
Can
good.
you hear me?
Yep. Okay.
Move this one on my way.
You said something interesting that. Okay, let me ask you: do you believe Christianity is true because it's impossible not to be true?
No, I didn't say that because I'm not the arbiter of what is epistemically true. but I have a perception as to what is true. And for me to believe that anything is true, I have to first believe in particularly the hypostatic union and that Christianity is true.
Okay, so you believe Christianity is true. You personally believe Christianity is true because you need to believe for anything to be true that Christianity is true.
Basically, yes.
Does that sound a little weird to you when I say it back to you?
Yeah,
Let's be
I mean,
honest.
so the alternative, which I had to go through, so a lot of us, as we, if I could say how I kind of came to the conclusion, is I realized, as we all realize at some point, is my believing in something does not make it true. And
Right.
so we have to, at some point, look into the external world and our relation to it. And we have to critique not just knowledge, but our own grasp of knowledge. And so you go down this line of critique, and many people will fall into sort of a Neoplatonist category, although I know there's another modern philosopher who's more famous for saying, I think, therefore I am. So the basis for my understanding of truth and reality is the basis that I at least cannot doubt that I am thinking, and therefore that my existence
Okay.
is somewhat predicated on
You
my
can
own
do all
thought.
that and Christianity still be false, right?
Yeah, except that that's not my standard. My standard is not I think, therefore I am. My standard is that Christ Jesus came into the world, therefore I am, because I could easily doubt my own pattern of thought.
What you just
And
said, that Christ Jesus came into the world, could that be false?
no, unfortunately not. So I
Unfortunately
could.
not?
Well, unfortunately, in the sense, there was once a time where we could have presumed it was false, but now, well, I know what you'll say. You'll say that Jesus entered the world, but we at least have the historical record to demonstrate Jesus's, excuse me, existence. And so that Jesus was in the world is not able to be denied, at least through the historical record.
Yeah, but nobody cares about the Jesus the man. We care about Jesus the Christ, right? So
Right. That's a fair point. So yeah, my I have a character assumption that Jesus was the Christ, and so that he existed as the Christ is something that I believe is demonstrably evident in his character and who he was, and those who wrote about
okay,
him.
but this is a little different what you're talking about now. Like, why do you believe Jesus is God?
Right.
How would you
Okay.
answer that one?
So the apostles told us that he was God, and so I believe the apostles.
You believe that Jesus is God because the apostles told you that Jesus was God.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Jesus walk on water. I didn't see Jesus raise the dead. I didn't see Jesus raised from the dead. I didn't see any of these things. I'm believing in the man Christ Jesus
If a
on the
different
base.
old book said that a person was God, would you believe that book?
Well, no, because I said I believe the apostles, not Muhammad or something.
Okay, why do you believe the apostles?
Yeah, because I believe that the apostles were the ordained representatives of God, in particular Jesus Christ.
Why
And
do you
so-
believe that the apostles were the ordained ministers of God or representatives of God?
Yeah, because Jesus chose the 12 apostles.
And why do you believe Jesus chose the 12 apostles?
According to the
Because the
council of his
apostles told
own
you,
will.
right?
Well, yes. Well, yeah, because the account. Yeah, I don't have a problem. So that the authentication of my faith, and this may be the fact that I'm relatively narrow in my understanding, but I do think that it is somewhat circular in nature. And based on my comprehension of it, it may be a larger or a
This
smaller
is weird.
circle.
This is weird because you're the third guest I've had, and I think in 3 weeks in a row, who've just openly admitted, yeah, what I believe is circular.
Yeah, and so I think that what a lot of us believe is circular, that's why I kind of discussed when I went through a stage, like many thinking people do, of what is my basis of authentication. And what I quickly found is that I think therefore I am is the ultimate circular argument, but the problem is it's already predicated on something I don't fully trust, which is my own reason and my apprehension of reality. And so I have to find something which is, internally consistent, which is what a circular argument is in the good sense, but is not predicated on something which is manifestly weak and fallible, like myself.
Okay, I can appreciate what you're saying here, but the thing is, usually when foundationalists, and I'm not a philosophy guy, I kind of hate philosophy or philosophers.
That sucks because I love philosophy.
Yeah, and the crackle's back, even with this mic. Say something?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, crackle's back. But let's see if we can fight through it. So we know it's your computer, not the mics. But like you can have a foundation that I think is very properly basic, like consciousness that we think, therefore we are, the universe around us. Could it all be a mirage? Yes, but we all share these things. But what we don't share is these ideas that Jesus was a god and died and rose again, right? This is not a properly basic belief. This is something extra. This is something special. And so why you would start there when I ask, why do you believe this is true? Because I need this to be true in order to believe anything. I think you could start further back and say, no, I need to believe, let's say, I think therefore I am is true, or the universe exists and has the properties it has is true, to have the basis to say things are true or not. Like, why start with Jesus for that?
Yeah, I didn't start with Jesus. I ended with Jesus. And so I started with the foundations that I grew up believing. Is the crackle still there?
Yeah.
If it gets really bad, I could just switch to I think I have a mic on here.
You know what? Take that, turn that off and just run it through. Don't use the headphones. Let's see if that changes things.
Don't use the headphones?
Yeah.
Won't you get an echo from here?
Well, I want to see if that fixes the crackle.
Okay. I can't hear anything. Is the crackle there?
Yeah, crackle's still there. Okay, put it back in. Something's interfering with something.
Is it better? I can switch to this audio. Let's see if this works well.
Yeah, because I don't want to continue with this crackle.
How does this sound?
Crackle's gone. The audio quality is horrible, but the crackle's gone.
That stinks. How horrible? Is it tolerably horrible?
No, it's tolerable. It's tolerable.
Man, I feel bad. I wanted to, so I've never done streams or collabs or anything, and I wanted you to have, you have good quality in your stuff, and I'm like, people would rather watch it if I have my mic and everything, but this is all very new to me. I'm trying to learn all this stuff on the fly, so if it's tolerable, we can do it.
Yeah, no, it's tolerable. It's good, but I'm just thinking, I really don't want to. I have a lot of presuppositional apologetic types on, and it sounds like this is the road we're going down, and I really don't want to go down that road. I'd rather talk about other stuff. But if you want to ask me questions now, that's fine.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to talk about. I think that I'm not. I've studied a little bit of presuppositionalism. I've read mostly evidentialist, and so I find people like Thomas Aquinas particularly compelling. I think his cosmology is uniquely compelling to me. And I know that would be blasphemy to a presuppositionalist. So I wouldn't consider myself a presuppositionalist, but I do see the need, and I guess this is just my own study of philosophy. I see that we are all kind of accepting something as on a basic level true and a foundationally true.
Yeah,
and
I agree
I'm
with
just
that,
trying to be honest with what I think is foundationally true.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think what you're starting with is way too specific and down the road, and is not properly basic to every culture in the world. It's
what is properly basic to every culture in the world, would you say?
I'm not sure if there's a leg, but if every culture in the world took a pen like this and dropped it on the planet, it would all fall down and they would all see it, if they could see.
What's interesting is you actually just performed what would be called a naturalistic prophecy. You say, I will drop this and it will fall. Yeah. And your basic assumption is, again, you are able to identify the law of gravity being in the 21st century Western world. But that's a very profound discovery, which you just demonstrated. And
I'm a profound guy.
Yeah, you are. But philosophy seeks to ask why. anyone can observe after the age of about 9. We start to observe the external world. Actually, maybe 7, but we start to observe the external world. But philosophy is not for 9-year-olds. Philosophy is for people who are 13 to 18 and beyond, who observe why the external world is the way that it is versus.
Would you
the
agree though
contrary
that
way.
that's a better, properly basic belief that a pen will fall towards the earth when you let go of it, rather than Jesus?
No, I find that to be borderline miraculous and astounding that you are able to predict the future in that sense. And I think the fact that it doesn't astound you or atheist shows that you take for granted a whole lot, which I'm seeking to not take for granted. And I want to figure out why we can trust with absolute certainty the prediction of the future.
We can't trust. I would not say that. I would not say I can trust with 100% absolute certainty that this will fall to the ground if I let go.
Well, yeah, you can. Well, let go of it again and see what happens.
I know I could let go it a million times, but that doesn't mean the next time it will go down. Right?
Yeah. So would you say, do you even believe in absolute certainty?
If I'm omniscient, I could, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was actually reading an article from Stanford University on standpoint epistemology, and it discussed this problem is because we're not all knowing and all seeing.
Yeah.
And but the problem is no one's ever been all knowing and all seeing, and humans have always lived their lives
except for Jesus
with certainty. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really important point. But that's why I didn't start with Jesus. I ended with Jesus because I do think I think the critique that the feminists made back in the 1900s on standpoint epistemology, I think it was a valid critique if Christianity wasn't true. Is because how could we have certainty? But I want to say something, and I think it's important to acknowledge humans, because you talked about what's common to the human experience. All cultures have lived with absolute certainty on certain things. And I think that's very important to recognize because we live, well, that we exist, that morality needs to be cohesively held in a culture. I'm not saying we agree on morality. I'm saying we all believe morality exists, always, and we always have, and we always will. Like, that's a big deal. That's an ethereal thing. It's not something that fell out of the sky. It's something that is within us, and we all unanimously believe it. And I think we need to account for that, and that's what philosophy seeks to do, is try to account for the morality that exists among men and the world. And so I don't know what that form of thought. I'm just saying this is what I was doing when I started to question the things I believed.
I think what you were doing was, like, remember what my question was originally? It was, why do you believe that a man was God and rose from the dead?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe that's true? Why do you personally believe that's true? And the answer, first answer I got from you was because my mom and dad told me so. And then you said, we both agreed that was a horrible answer. And then the second answer you gave was because it just has to be true in order for anything to be true, right?
Yeah, I said that my the central thesis it would be that I don't believe anything could be true, or at least I couldn't know it to be true if it was not true.
The crackling's back.
It must be my laptop or something like that.
Yeah. So it's definitely not the mics, but it seems like every 2, 3, 4 minutes, if you keep rotating mics,
it might be somewhat of a. Do you have this problem with anybody else?
No, not really. But to be honest, this conversation is boring me anyhow. But I would like to ask you some of my thought experiment questions that I typically ask. Are you game?
Am I game? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I hope that the mic doesn't bother everyone too much.
So you're up in heaven during the days of Noah. You said you believed in a global flood. You're up in heaven with Yahweh. And Yahweh says, hey, David, look at the mess down there. I'm going to execute my justice, but I'm going to save Noah's family. And he says, you know what? I got 2 options I'm thinking about. Option 1 is I flood the earth. I kill everybody, the animals, women, children, men, everybody. That's option 1. Option 2 is I just poof them all out of existence. No flood waters needed. Just poof, and they're gone. They won't see it coming. They're both moral options because God's given them to you. What would you say to God as your personal preference of what God should do? Poof or drown?
Like God would take my advice on something.
He's asking you.
Yeah, God's actually done this, but in the past, and I would hopefully respond like Job and Abraham and John later in the book of Revelation, and just say, God, you know, and I'm not going to speak on the matter, because that would seem like a you. If you are the smartest person,
So you're
in
not
the
going
room,
to give an answer?
no, that would be my answer. I would say, Lord, you know. And so if the smartest person in the room asks you to answer on a topic which he's an expert in, he's testing you. This happens a lot in college campuses. You need to pass that test and defer to the wisest person in the room or the expert on the topic. And on the topic of morality, I would consider God to be the expert.
Okay,
Let me ask you.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
you can ask me one and then I'll ask one back. Go ahead.
I think that you believe that there is a conventional standard of morality. Is that correct? So it's um, agreed upon convention among men,
No.
right? What would you say is the standard for morality for a particular society, or if you do believe there's a standard of
Depends on
morality for men
society.
at large? Right. Okay. So what would you say that standard is?
Depends on society. If you're living in Pakistan, the standard is the Quran or the Hadiths. If you live in the United States, it might be something closer to the Constitution or some social contract.
Okay. Do you believe that that is a self-authenticating standard or an externally authenticating standard?
I don't even know what that means.
Is it only authentic because it's enforced by culture,
What
or
do
is
you
it
mean by
authentic because
authentic?
it's, well, I'm trying to ask, I suppose, is it a real morality or is it contrived?
It is contrived because I know what you mean by real, and I have
Okay.
no hesitation in saying that, because when you say the word real, what you mean is something outside of all humans, right?
Yeah, or even if it's among humans, is it at least legitimate in an overarching way? Because
Okay,
I'll admit that.
but listen to your own language. Legitimate in an overarching way. Like, what in the world does that mean?
So what a lot of I listen to some political theorists who get in this problem.
If
They
if
believe.
your mic is going to crackle, you can't talk a lot. We got to continue this conversation. Just so we got to fix this or we got to end it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't really know exactly what I need to change on my microphone. I would definitely like to continue.
Hang on a second, Travis. You wanted in. You said you had a fix for his mic. So you're using a laptop, right?
Yes.
Unplug it. The jack that goes into your laptop. Pull it out. Put it back in.
Okay.
Okay, I can't hear you, so it's back in, right? Turn down the camera resolution. You think that's going to help his mic? It's his camera? A lot of people are thinking it's your camera. That your camera resolution is too high. Hey, Travis, I can't hear you now. That's kind of funny. Try turning your camera off right now, David. And then back on. The camera is eating up CPU cycles. That's what some people are saying, David. Can you hear me? Put your thumb up if you can hear me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, some people are thinking that your camera, as great as it is so he'll be back, I'm sure. Whoever said I'm bored, you're right, I am. I don't like just audio only. If he can turn down the resolution a little bit. Aaron, I can hear you, Travis.
Yeah, hey, so what is usually happening when you hear crackling, it's the CPU can't handle all the inputs. So he probably has a 4K camera, which is like overburdening the CPU. And eventually it runs out of RAM and memory, and then it can't like process all the inputs. So whenever you have these problems, ask him to turn off his video. Don't worry about the mic. It's not ever using the mic.
Gotcha.
And you can also ask him to change the quality of the video so that it's not HD. His video is very clear. He probably has 4K. And sometimes there's these programs like I use Logitune. It's for my Logitech 4K video camera, and that like adjusts the quality so it works. But usually, if there's problems,
But do you think if he just turns off his video here and whereby that will work?
Yeah, that will probably help.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll try that.
You can also ask him to open his like his task manager or activity manager thing, and then see what programs are affecting it, and that will usually show like, oh, there's a CPU problem.
Yeah, he's probably just a poor young kid. He doesn't have like the powerful desktop like I have, so.
Yeah,
and he's using a laptop. You don't use laptops for stuff like this. You got to have a powerful desktop. Hey, all you kids out there, desktop. Say it out loud. Do you own a desktop?
I'm on a MacBook now.
Yeah. See, you're a kid. Yeah.
Not much.
Thanks, Travis. We'll see how that
see
works.
You later.
So, David, come back in. We're not going to talk about philosophy, though. Come back in and at least see if we could fix the crackling. Why do you believe Jesus rose from the dead? Because if I don't believe it, then how can I believe anything else is true? Did you hear yourself, David? Okay, let's see if it worked. Okay, as soon as the crackling starts, we'll turn off your video.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, so I switched to it is 4K, and so that may have been the problem.
Okay. Okay, so when you left, I asked you the poof or drown question. You said you refused. Your answer was, I'm not going to give an answer.
Whoa.
Then we went into morality.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to get, so the whole reason I'm on this channel is because one of your beloved fans decided to send you one of my videos where I was, like raving at the end of a workday, which was quite enjoyable. By the way, I love your fans, man. They're quite enjoyable. And I know you corrected me for saying I like atheists before because you were like, not all atheists are likable. I don't probably like them for good and wholesome reasons. So I pretty much like all atheists, especially the raving ones.
Why is
and I'm
that?
sure because I find it to be some kind of this odd form of enjoyment. I think I mentioned even in my video people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who are like perhaps atheistic popularizers, are the worst representations of atheists. And so people like that I sometimes enjoy listening to because it's like,
Yeah, I sometimes
that makes me feel better about myself.
Sometimes I like listening to Ray Comfort.
Let me ask you this. This is exactly where I wanted to go with this. So who would you say, I'm going to tell you who my favorite atheist is. And if you can guess him, I won't give you anything because I'm poor. But
has to be
if you can guess
right? Has to be a philosopher, right?
No, but I think you can probably tell by my personality who it would be. So go with personality a little bit, because I'll be honest, this person I listened to a lot when I was a teenager, and I've actually benefited from him a lot. And I'm more like him than I used to be, just because I liked his personality and his form of rhetoric. So
is he someone famous like I would know?
He's dead, but he was famous. He was one of the most famous.
Oh, dead like how many years ago dead? Like 5 years or 50?
Not very many years ago. Within 10 years.
George Carlin? That's more than 10
No.
years, right?
No.
Okay, who is it?
Okay, Christopher Hitchens.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What a
someone in
great
the
guy.
live stream chat guessed that.
Yeah. No, he is like I still enjoy listening to him so much. It's like nostalgia every time I hear his voice because I listened to him a lot when I was a teen, when I was out on the I don't know, whatever you call agnostic search, or I don't know if there's a term for it. What about you? Do you have a like go-to Christian that it's like your comfort food for theism? It's just like, oh, I'll just
No.
listen to this guy.
No.
Oh, okay, man, sad. I could recommend someone to. Well, no, I think you've already listened to him, but
Who's your
and he'd
favorite?
Probably annoy you.
Yeah, who are your favorite Christian apologists or teachers or?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't listen to Christian apologists, which is probably, I read the comment section. You guys all think I'm a bunch of idiots. I'm sorry. I don't have the apologetic criteria to really be giving a good apologetic. I don't listen to a lot of apologists. I did a while ago, but I have a preacher that I really like, Pastor Doug Wilson. He's a pastor at our church. Love him. He's a great guy.
You're in that cult.
Yeah, we are. We're this wonderful culture. He just burned a house down in order for
I
No
saw
Quarter
that.
November. Yeah, it's pretty legit. And you guys share a name, so it's
Yeah.
it should be pretty easy to remember. But we're not a cult. I mean, we're a Presbyterian denomination. We hold to particularly Christ
Well,
Church,
let me
which
be
is
the
probably
judge of whether or not you're in a cult. So if you wanted to go on a date,
that makes sense for an atheist to be the judge of what Christian denominations are cultic.
well, it's my opinion, right? Let me be a judge of my own opinion. If I say that your church is a cult, and you say no, well, maybe it is, and you just don't realize it, because cult members don't realize they're in a cult, right?
Yeah, so cult has in it, just like many things in this world, the word cult has an objective meaning, and so a classical Christian denomination is not a cult in an objective
Has your church
scale.
ever told you who to date or not to date?
No.
Okay, good.
I wish they would.
Has your
though. That
church
would
ever
make my
told
life
you
easier.
or made recommendations on what job you should have?
No.
Okay, so yeah, maybe you're not in a cult then. Those are the big ones.
But I wouldn't really mind if they did. I think what cults try to do, those are kind of the symptoms of a cult, in the sense they're controlling and they need you to be somewhat ignorant and dependent on the ecclesiastical magistrate. But I don't. What a cult
Ecclesiastical
actually.
magistrate?
Yeah, the
what does that phrase
ecclesiastical
mean?
authority.
Oh.
The authority. You need to. If a cult has very little theological or philosophical substance, they have to keep you in somehow. And so they'll, disconnect you from your family, get you jobs, get you married, and that they presume will hold in their members. But those are not the illness. Those are the symptoms of the illness. The illness is they've
But
departed
it sounds like
from
you like
the
authority
classical.
over you.
Well, I have authority over me. All Christians
but do you
are
like
under
it?
authority. I love it. Yeah.
I hate that.
I like duly appointed authority. Aren't you Canadian and don't you have Trudeau like shoving things?
No, I live in the U.S.
Oh, okay. I thought. Tell me your background because I wanted to get this. You
Okay,
said that you had.
the crackle is back, so turn off your video.
Okay, I may have to go out again because I've had to go out every time I
Okay,
turn off
try it.
video.
Turn
So
off your
I'll
video.
try to do it. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
off.
and the crackle's still there. So now try refreshing. Refreshing.
Refreshing
Don't
in
close. Just
the-
refresh, and you'll come
okay.
right back in. This is not going the way I would hope. Okay, David. I see you, but I don't hear you. Don't hear you. I see you. I see you talking, but I don't hear anything.
Okay, how about now?
There
can
you
probably
go.
hear me.
Yeah, it takes a few seconds for the ramp. No, leave your video off.
Oh, okay, I'm off.
Yeah, because I think So, man,
I'm on a MacBook as well, so maybe it lacks the.
I'm getting frustrated with this because of the video and audio problems. I don't remember what we were talking about. What were
I'm
we
sorry.
talking
I wanted to get I thought you were Canadian somehow.
I am.
So what? Oh, okay. So
I'm a
what
Canadian
was
citizen
your?
living in the United States.
Oh, okay. So kind of a traitor a little bit, eh?
Yeah, I can't skate.
that. Do you drink maple syrup? I've heard the legends.
No.
Dang it. That would have made you really cool, bro.
But I lean capitalist. I love business. I love the free market. You and I probably have a lot of things in common. I don't really think that there's such thing as an atheist community. I'm all against that type of rhetoric.
Amen, brother.
I'm not
I agree
an
with that.
activist at all, except for my own YouTube channel, if you call that activism.
Yeah.
I've told people to stay Christians. I don't really care if they're. But what I do care about, I guess, is the same as any normal human being, is that when I see, say, children being abused because religion,
Right,
or that sort of thing, yeah, then I got a problem.
Yeah, that is certainly a problem. I would say that if morality is a convention and a religious group is big enough, then they should be perfectly allowed to force their own conventions on everybody they feel like, right?
Well, then it comes down to might makes right.
Yeah, but that's the problem with conventional reality, which is why Friedrich Nietzsche was so successful in a short spat, and even still quoted in academia. Because if you do believe morality is conventional, might does make right by logical extension.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, like if, but the thing is, over time we've seen, if there is something close to an objective morality that we're approaching, it is on the very basic stuff, like murder.
Like what is a woman?
No, that's not basic at all. I mean, like, I agree.
Clearly not.
Like, you're talking to an atheist who has publicly said trans women are not real women.
No. I'm not critiquing you.
Okay.
I'm saying you think we're coming to a consensus on basic truth, and we are not. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, as a society, or as me and you?
Yeah, no, we have no consensus on basic truth right now. It's actually a beautiful thing to watch.
But didn't earlier you just say that every culture agreed that when we let go of the pen, it will fall towards the ground?
Yeah, but there are people in our culture who will deny that soon enough, and they're denying things which are just as self-evident, like a woman being a woman. And so I think that, like, yes, every culture would agree
some
on that.
cultures sure, you're always going to have exceptions. We have psychopaths, right? But you
Right.
don't think that 95+% of mankind thinks that it's bad to take battery acid and throw it in their own face?
Yeah, I think that's generally disagreeable, but we do have people who are chopping off their own members in our society, and we have it as an increasingly problematic, thing that we're having to deal with. And so I think that what used to happen, and this happened in the French Revolution, is you could appeal to an overarching morality without Christianity, because there was a cultural consensus. But what I think is fairly interesting in America is the experiment has gone
But do you think
horribly
Christianity
wrong.
is a good standard for morality?
I believe that Christianity teaches the objectivity of morality in a way which is most beneficial to everyone who adheres to it.
Like give an example of something that's uniquely Christian, like that another culture couldn't get.
Well, I think there's not very many things uniquely Christian in the moral standards which we propound. It's the way in which we propound them that I think makes it so effective and so fruitful for humanity in the long term. No, so like things like the idea of personal property, I believe now would be considered, fairly basic among humans. But historically, in the West, in particular, you actually see this in medieval writings. Christians understood that if you have property, no one has a right to take it. And the Arab nations did not have that principle. It just was not, there was no enforcement for theft.
Doesn't Christianity teach that if you have property, you should give it away?
No, yeah, you should do that if you will to do that unto the Lord or unto charity or unto others. But you have what is yours. We all take this principle for granted, but you can look at times where it was not taken for granted. In the West, you could not go into a peasant's house and take everything that was his, even if you were a king. You would be put on trial.
So you're saying that the whole idea of personal property came from Christianity. So if
No, I'm not saying it came from Christianity. I think you and I would probably agree this is a basic idea, right? Personal property, what's mine is mine, and it's not yours.
Yeah.
right? It's a fairly logically consistent idea. It's if I have
What
it,
does this have to do
you
with
don't
Christianity?
also have it. I'm saying that the way Christianity didn't invent personal property. It moderated it in a way which was most successful in the history of the world.
Moderated it. What do you mean?
Yeah, the way the Christian message
Oh, your
puts
crackle's
forth the
back.
morality. The crackle's back.
Yeah, just came back. I don't know. But I'm not enjoying the conversation anyhow because it's like we're not really. You're a ruminator. You know what a ruminator is?
No, what is that?
A ruminator is you wanna sit and just chew the cud on all these ideas. It's because you like philosophy, and I hate philosophy. So this is not gonna work. And I'm gonna use the crackle of your mic as an excuse to end it.
Well,
and
that's
a good
that's
excuse.
a fair. Yeah, that's a fair point, and I'm sorry it didn't work out as well as it could have. But yeah, I do very much enjoy philosophy, and I'm glad that you invited me on. Hopefully, if I get my whole mic situation worked out, we can have a more, hopefully we can find something we both like to talk about and deal with that at length at some point.
Okay, David. Yeah, what's the name of your channel?
It's the layman's perspective. It's like got, I think my mom sometimes watches it or something like that. It's super famous, man. Get like 8 views every video.
Is your mom
It's
watching
wonderful.
now? Hi, Mom.
I'm kidding. My mom never watches my videos.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
David,
Well,
take care.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Nathan. What's up?
How are you doing? I wanted to ask him about his epistemology, but I think he's gone now.
His mic is crackling again.
Yeah, I know that was getting frustrating. I think with those guys, I mean, there's two things that I think are really weird about what they're doing. One of them is this vicious circularity thing, which is just something that Jay Dyer's invented. But basically what's going on is that people who watch Jay Dyer are just beginning to say it. And so people who don't know any better are starting to think it's like a philosophy thing or something. And there's no distinction between vicious and virtuous circularity in philosophy. It's just something that some random guy who talks about conspiracy theories has made up on the internet.
Well, if they get to use the word virtuous circularity, then I can use it when I see fit.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, and then they might just be okay with that though. That as long as you're leaving them alone and giving them the precept, they might be like, "Yeah, you go to hell with it. I'll have my strange beliefs."
Yeah.
The second thing that I think is important to ask someone like that who's a presupper is what they think they're actually saying when they say you have to presuppose this, right? So the question is, are you saying it's epistemically basic? And I know, right, technical words. What I mean by that is someone has to have this belief in order to believe anything else, right? So in order for me to like believe I have a hand,
or is it just there?
Yeah, right, exactly. And then and if they say it's the one way round, well, he was telling you this story about how he came to have this belief in presupp over time. So it wasn't the case that he always had that, but he had beliefs before he had this belief as well. Yeah. And if it's just in the world, then you've just got the same question. Now we've got to talk about, well, we disagree about what's in the world. So who's right? Yeah.
It just boggles my mind. Like when I repeated it back to him and asked him, does that sound weird to you? I believe Jesus Christ rose from the dead because I need to believe that's true in order to believe anything is true. Really?
Yeah.
That you hear that back to yourself and you don't think,
And then he was saying there's all this stuff that's cross-cultural, like like people believing in morality or believing in this, believing in that, all these categories. And it was like, yeah, and notice amongst that category was a guy rose from the dead, incarnated, put demons into pig. Like all the stuff that he's claiming is basic, isn't any of the stuff that anyone shares universally, right? Other than being exposed to Christianity.
The thing is, I couldn't even have fun with him because of the mic issue.
Yeah.
I would have gone straight to just.
You had so much rapport at the start, though. You were both simpatico.
Yeah. Well, someone else wants in here. We'll see if they're a theist.
Yeah, no problem. I've just got one thing, which is a link on cults, which I'll put on the chat for anyone who's interested, because there's some quite interesting stuff on the loose definitions and stuff around cults. And I think that Doug Wilson's community quite clearly satisfies the criteria in sociology for a cult.
Yeah, I've heard some weird things about Doug Wilson's followers.
Right. Well, cheers, Doug. See you around.
So yeah. Hey, guest. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I would just, yeah, I just wanted to comment on the previous guy who spoke because I don't know why, but the Muslims keep getting involved in those discussions. I really don't know why. He mentioned like the issue of property, like Christianity made the best system for property, and that the Arabs, I don't know why he brought the Arabs in this discussion, did not have law enforcement for protecting property and stuff like that. Just wants to correct that because the Arabs in Islam enforce the theft by cutting hands. Okay, so I don't know where he got that from. A thief is to have his hands or his hand, which is he does not use.
Okay,
cut.
you're basically saying that my previous caller got something wrong about morality and being enforced. Okay, I got it. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a 100% atheist?
Oh yeah, baby.
100%.
What does 100%
Okay.
mean? 100% confident?
Like
certain?
Certain that there is no God.
I'm as certain that there's no God as that when I let go of this pen, it will fall to the ground. So no,
What?
that doesn't mean 100%.
Okay. Why do you think that way?
Because the term atheist is from the root word theist. Without theist, you're not going to have the word atheist. So the default position is atheism, in my opinion. It's not theism. And there's no good reason, there's no sufficient reason to believe any of the specific theisms are true, in my opinion.
No, you mean religion.
Yeah, I don't think
but
any
not theism.
don't think any of the religions are true, and I don't think any concepts that I've been told about that are falsifiable are true.
About religions, but not about theism, like the existence of a God, creator.
Yeah, all the concepts of God that I've heard about that can be falsifiable, I don't believe are true.
Okay. So,
in fact, I would say I know they're false.
Okay. Why do you know, for instance, Christianity is false?
Why do I know Christianity is false?
How?
How do I know Christianity is false?
Yes.
The same way I know that when I let go of this pen, it will fall towards the ground. Because dead people stay dead. People make up stories.
Mm-hmm.
Those explanations are way more, they're sufficient, and they're way more likely than a man claiming to be God's actually God and did all those miracles and such.
Okay. Yeah, fair point. But my point is, you have to distinguish between religions and theism. Okay, well,
I do.
Not. Yeah, you have to, like, okay, you don't believe in Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or the religions, but because it is not because you don't believe in certain religion, that God does not exist. Maybe the way the religion, is.
What God doesn't exist?
God, creator of the universe.
Okay, if you want to say that God is nothing more than a creator, you can't falsify that, right?
No.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is that there is a God creator.
How do you know that?
For instance...
how do you know there's a God creator?
By inference. Let me give you an example, okay? Did you have children? Do you have children?
Yes, I have children.
Do you remember when they were little?
Yes, I remember when they're little.
And when they start to learn, like how to pick up things with their hands, how to put things in their mouth and so on.
Yep.
You do remember, okay? I'm in the same situation right now because I have a little baby who's doing exactly that, okay? And I'm amazed how a tiny baby, like a tiny human like this, is able to learn by itself how to control its movement, okay, without any exterior maybe help, except using her senses, ear, eyes, and so on. Okay. Now, what is the closest thing that exists, which is not biologically
I'm
curated?
bored. I'm so incredibly bored.
Yeah, easy question. Okay, maybe easy for me, but I don't know for you. It's easy. What is the closest thing that resembles the behavior of life, and that is not created? That is not biologically
Me.
like made. Sorry?
Me.
No, you are a human being. You have a mother, father, and so on, just like me, just like a bee, just like an insect, and so on. My point.
Yeah, get to your point.
The point. Okay, my point is the closest thing to this behavior is robots. Okay, a robot is programmed to to choose a way to go left, right, to pick.
It's funny you should say that. You know why? Because I'm a robot.
Okay, I'm not joking.
I'm not joking. I'm a robot.
No, you are joking.
No, I'm not. I've been programmed.
Yes, in a sense, we are all robots. But I'm speaking about technological robots created by men, okay, by teams of engineers and so on. Okay, so my point is,
Here's my question: why do you believe a God exists?
Here's the example. Here's the answer.
Why does a God exist? Why do you believe that?
Because it's obvious.
Oh, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's obvious.
If someone says it's obvious that God doesn't exist, now what?
He's a fool.
You're a fool.
No, you're a fool.
No, you're a fool.
Atheist.
Nah. You see how this doesn't lead us anywhere?
Yeah, but let me finish the point.
No.
So
you have no point. Your point was it's obvious.
Oh, dude, please. What is my point?
You just said it. It's obvious.
No, here's the point.
God is obvious.
We need billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of teams of engineers to create like something resembling life in
so
behavior and so on.
Only a God could do it.
So since robots are designed, so is life.
Here we go. It's just a long design argument. Why waste all the time to say, I believe God exists because of the design, because of the theological argument? Why not just say that? Save so much time.
But that's the point.
Do you think people really love listening to the sound of your voice for the last 5 minutes? No. Just say,
No.
Doug, I believe God exists because of the theological argument. And then you can ask, do you know what that is, Doug? I say, yeah, I do. Okay. So now let me ask you, can you point to anything that's not designed on planet Earth?
How was designed? No. Everything is designed.
Everything's designed. So how do you know what's not designed and what is designed? If everything's designed.
Artificially designed. Yes, I know it's created by men or the machines and so on.
Oh, so you're talking about more designed or less designed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So are there certain things in the human body that seemed a little less designed rather than more designed?
No, everything is perfectly designed how it should be.
Everything is perfectly designed the way it should be.
Yeah. And if people think that some things like, for instance,
have you ever taken a biology class?
Yes, I'm a scientific myself.
You're a scientific yourself?
Yeah.
What do you study?
Robotics, actually.
Oh, well, that's why you brought it up, right?
Yeah. That's my.
So you can't name
yeah.
anything. Can't name any design flaws with the human body.
No.
No, you can't.
I know. Yeah, I know. because
How about having the
what seems to
reproductive
be
system right next to your plumbing system? No. Would you put a carnival right next to the sewage yard? No. What about the appendix? That's prone to
where
burst.
do you want it to be? On your face?
What about the appendix that's prone to burst? It doesn't serve any purpose, at least not anymore.
Oh, you think so? It does serve.
Oh yeah, it does.
It does serve, but you don't know.
How about nipples on a man? What purpose does that serve?
It has a purpose.
Just to turn
but you don't
other
know.
men on, or what?
No, but you don't know what it is. So it's not a design flaw. It's ignorance from your side. That's it.
You see what I'm wearing here?
Yeah.
Why am I wearing glasses? You know why?
Because you spend too much time watching TV and smartphones and screens.
Oh, you think people didn't need glasses before TVs?
Yeah, they need. Some people need it.
Back in the 1800s, don't you see those those movies about people back in the 1800s or even early 1900s before TVs wearing glasses?
So your point is that since everybody does not have a perfect body without disease and illnesses and defects.
Are you admitting that we don't have perfect bodies?
Yes, of course.
So are you admitting we don't have perfect design?
No, the design is perfect.
The design is perfect, but it leads to imperfect bodies?
The defects are not
Listen to
because
yourself.
of the design. No, that's a false argument.
Listen to yourself. You're not a stupid... Hey, listen, what's your first name?
Sam.
Sam, you're not a stupid guy. You're just saying the things you're saying because you have this belief and you feel like you have to defend it at all costs.
No, you and I are not stupid.
You're not a stupid guy, Sam. You're a smart guy. And you just told me that we do not have perfect bodies, but yet it's a perfect design. You do hear yourself, right?
No, what I said is that you and I don't have perfect bodies, but the perfect body exists. The perfect shape of body does exist, and we have at least.
Were you and I perfectly designed, Sam?
Sorry?
Were you and I perfectly designed?
Unfortunately, not. I wished I was feet taller or half a foot.
Okay, now you're using humor to try to get out of this, but you're not going to get out of this. Our bodies, not just me and you, human bodies have severe design flaws.
Yeah, just like a back door.
Evidence of a perfect designer.
No, just like back doors in your Windows or Apple system or Android, it was designed on purpose. It's a back door.
Oh, so you're saying we were designed perfectly for imperfection?
No, we were designed perfectly for the purpose of our lives. And
Why
the back
do you
doors,
need theism so badly that you actually say stuff like this?
Listen, the back doors like
Tell
this
me
is
the
and
deep
so on.
psychological needs that you have. Why are you so insecure? What's going on with you?
Nothing. But
Nothing?
listen,
You
the
just
back
can't-
doors. Okay, you and I are not perfect.
You
We
can
have
hear
issues with
yourself,
sight
right?
and so on. But these are back doors. It's like weapons of God. Diseases and so on are weapons of God. But atheists don't understand.
Will your life crumble if you leave theism? What's going on?
Corona, AIDS, and so on. All these diseases and viruses are like biological weapons God uses to make people remember that He does exist. But atheists think, oh, it's Corona. Let's invent a vaccine and so on. Like they think of it like purely materialistic in a materialistic way.
So
and those diseases will come back again and again.
Did you say AIDS exists so people remember that God exists?
Yes, absolutely. A saying of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, who says, anytime fornication and promiscuity spreads in a nation, a new disease appears among them. So that's it.
So if I designed a robot, since you're in robotics, that purposely fell apart after, I don't know, 30 years. I designed it to last 100 years, but a certain thing falls apart after 30 years. And I designed it that way. What would you think of me as a robotic designer?
I don't know what was your purpose. You designed it that way.
My purpose,
So
my purpose in designing the robot that way is so that when people see it fall apart, that they'll remember me.
Yeah. So the robot must remember his designer. That's it.
Because that's the argument you're
if
making. You hear yourself, Sam, right? You're saying that
No.
God made the imperfections. He makes aids so people will remember him.
And that's what happened. Many people come back to God when they are struck by pain and sadness and disease in life.
There's nothing in you that recoils hearing yourself back? Here's my answer. If you designed a robot and that it purposely fell apart, and I asked you, why would you do such a thing? Well, so you remember me. Number one, I would think you're an idiot. Number two, I think you're insecure and you need attention. Number three, I'd probably lock you up. You're describing your God. Insecure? I need to be remembered. Stupid, idiotic. Oh, it falls apart. My eyes. Look, after 40 years, I need glasses. Almost everybody needs glasses after 40 years. It probably needs to be locked up. Your God needs to be locked up.
Oh, well, those are your conclusions.
You know what? I think most reasonable people, if we're talking about humans, would agree with me. But as soon as we apply it to God, it's like, oh, no. You're scared God's going to hurt you, right?
No, you think and speak that way. You know why?
Why?
Because you're not in Ukraine, for instance. I'm not wishing anything bad for you, but people unfortunately need to have a pain, you see, in their life in order to, I understand. I need to search and go back to God. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. You are saying those things.
Okay.
You are saying those things because you are living peacefully in your house with
You're admitting now,
hot
Sam,
wall.
You're admitting now that if you live a good, content, peaceful life, you have no reason for God.
No.
Because I'm hearing you say that people need pain and suffering in order to go to God.
No, people who go astray, I should say, go astray.
People who go astray. Well, what if someone's always been astray?
Yeah, he will have warnings until he dies, unfortunately. And the warnings are, as I said, the diseases and bad hard knocks of life.
Okay. So,
maybe he loses money, maybe he loses members of his family.
Okay. So someone has pain in their life. Why ought they go to God again? Why? Is he going to help them with that pain?
Yeah, of course.
How? So if someone has AIDS and goes to God, will God take the AIDS away?
He can, but he may not. He can, but he may not. He may not. So
there's no guarantees that your life will get better. What if,
no.
let's say you live in the Ukraine and your house has just been bombed and you've lost your children. Will crying out to God bring your children back?
No, that's horrible. That's
you're saying going back to God won't get your children back?
Yeah, but I'm not speaking.
What good is your God? What can he do? What can he do? Purely materialistic
way.
Name something your God can do.
Something.
Yeah.
He can give you peace of mind and peace of heart.
Oh, peace of mind. I've always wanted that. Peace of mind.
Unfortunately, suicide rates are skyrocketing everywhere in the West and in secular nations. And you know why? Because they live in purely materialistic lives. They have they become robots. No purpose in life.
No. You know how many Christians I've talked to who have almost peace of mind is a scale, right? You're in robotics. You know what distributions are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine distribution. Imagine the right tail being the utmost peace of mind and the left tail being almost no peace of mind. We all, in a given day, are somewhere in that distribution. But I will be very honest and truthful with you. I think my peace of mind is higher, more towards the right side, than 80% of all Christians that I've ever come in contact with. And here's why. A lot of them are struggling, and I'll even put Muslims in this category. A lot of them are struggling with, what exactly is the will of God for my life? Should I do this? Should I not? Should I marry this person? Should I take this job or not? Am I really saved? Am I good enough as a Muslim to inherit heaven? You talk about peace of mind when we're talking about doubting your own eternal security. I do not lose any sleep over that garbage. I have way more peace of mind than most Christians, and I even dare say Muslims. So don't give me this, oh, my God can give you peace of mind. Your God is inflicting pain and suffering in the minds as an idea in people. You know how many kids grow up fearing hell? This nonsensical fantasy world? Which, I don't even know, are you Muslim or Christian?
Muslim.
Yeah. You have the same fantasy world as they do, except worse.
Not exactly.
You believe in hell?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And you believe some people go there?
Yeah.
And you believe even your children could go there, right?
Possibly, yes.
Yes. Can you imagine teaching your children that, oh, by the way, you might be going to hell forever and ever and ever. And when your skin burns off, Allah will give you new skin so he can burn it off again. Do you ever teach this stuff to people, or have you ever heard this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. How much peace of mind do you get after hearing something like that?
It's exactly like you are taught, or you teach your children not to pass the red light. As soon as you know that red light means you have to stop.
It's for your good, you're saying, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the point.
Obey me, or you'll experience this horrible pain.
Yeah, that's the point, basically. But people refuse, and then they regret. Like, look, every single atom of in this universe, the stars and so on, everything obeys God by His laws, like gravity and so on. We, as living creatures, who have choices, we of course obey those laws of nature. Gravity, we cannot escape gravity, or except with machines and so on.
Scale 1 to 10, how scared are you of hell? How scared are you of hell?
How scared?
Yeah.
I'm of course 10 after 10 scared of hell.
You're 10 out of 10 scared of hell.
Yeah.
Do you think this might be a reason why you see the design argument so powerful?
No, the fear of hell, this comes after believing. Okay, this comes after believing, and also it's like a warning for disbelievers.
I know, but you do believe in apostasy, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying everything in your might to stay a believer, right? Because you fear hell.
Yeah.
How in the world can you look at the evidence objectively with such fear in your soul, in your mind, in your heart?
What evidence? That's the point. The evidence is thin, very thin.
Listen to my question.
Yeah.
You have this fear. You said 10 out of 10. How in the world can you even see anything regarding this topic in an objective way with this type of fear inside you?
Like, I see what you mean. I would say that I do look at evidence fairly objectively.
I submit
I'm being honest.
But on this topic, on the topic of Allah, Islam, eternal life, afterlife, you think you can look at it objectively if you have this fear of hell?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think not. You know how I got out of Christianity?
No.
Let's make this real now. I got out of Christianity as soon as I said this to myself. Well, this is one of the things. I said, I don't care about going to hell. If there's a hell, I'm willing to go there. I want to know what's true or likely to be true. And Sam, this is what you need to do. You need to take your 10 out of 10 fear of hell and bring it down to 0. Say, I do not care if I go to hell. I want to know, is Islam actually true? Who cares about hell? If I'm willing to go there, if it's to see what the truth is. Once you can have that attitude, I tell you, almost everything that you believe currently is just going to start to fizzle. Because you're going to start saying, it's more likely Muhammad was a front man for a bunch of guys making up a new brand of Christianity. I phrase it wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Men make up stories. Sure, some of it can be true, but a lot of it.
I've already analyzed the evidence.
Sure, you
and
have.
I would say that I came back from atheism.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. In my 20s, I think not in my teens, like let's say late teens, I was not a Muslim, more like an atheist.
Does Islam have the phrase the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, like Christians and Jews have that?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about.
Okay, finish what you're going to say.
Yeah, I would say that in the West. Okay, so I moved from an Islamic state to Europe when I was a teen, and when you discover all those like pleasures and so on in the West, you slip towards atheism. Okay, that's what happened, unfortunately. But something happened in my life that brought me back to the religion, because I saw what atheism will lead people to.
And what was that?
Deprivation, baseless, quote unquote scientific evidence.
My goodness, you're just citing stuff. I mean, I'm not citing stuff. These are empty platitudes. I saw what atheism does to people. Here I thought you were going to talk about someone that you know personally who committed suicide or something and would get into something real. But now I see that atheism has no scientific blah, blah, blah.
Give you an example. I saw people who brought, okay, this is also real, okay?
Get to the point quickly.
Girls in Islamic, quote unquote, not Islamic, but Arab families who were brought in atheism or in secular way. Okay.
What did you see?
Those girls brought to the house the boyfriends and so on, and this is for a normal person unacceptable. Okay. So
wait a minute. You're saying you saw with your own eyes girls bringing their boyfriends to their homes?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. So you see, this is the shift that atheism.
What is wrong with you, Sam? Are you saying this is a bad thing?
Of course, this is a bad thing. This is horrible.
Why?
This is a nightmare for a father.
Why is it a nightmare for girls to bring their boyfriends to their home?
Because this stranger boyfriend who is not married to the girl will probably have intimate relationships in the house of the father, maybe in the room.
No,
and maybe
they did that?
Leave her.
They had coitus in the safety of their own home?
No, in the home of the father, of the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's horrible. If you don't feel like this, that means that you shifted.
Why is it horrible?
If you don't understand, if you don't feel that it's not horrible, I cannot explain to you.
Can you articulate with your mouth? Pretend you're a robot.
Yeah.
I'm inputting into the keyboard of your programming. Why is having sex horrible? Can you answer that for me?
I'm saying that having sex between unmarried people, and on top of that, in the house of the parents.
Oh my goodness! You got this whole honor garbage in your head, don't you?
What?
Because you said not only is having sex horrible, what makes it even more horrible, it's in the home of the father, right?
I said having sex with unmarried people.
Right.
Having is already.
But what makes it even
horrible.
worse is in the home of the father, right? You got this honor thing in your head.
Yeah, that's pure humiliation.
Yeah, this is a cultural thing.
No, it's just like Princess Diana of England, who were killed by a family.
You still haven't answered my question. Why is it horrible to have coitus, for this girl to have coitus with her boyfriend?
Because ask the 53 million aborted babies of the US.
There you go. Why does it take so long? So you can say, well, because they could get pregnant. And we don't want unwanted babies, Doug. That would be a great answer you could have given 5 minutes ago. Why didn't you? But notice your answer though, Sam. Your answer has nothing to do with Allah.
No, it does have to do with Allah. Because Allah forbade.
Oh, yeah. Allah doesn't want unwanted babies. There you go.
No, fornication. Fornication and adultery.
Okay, why is fornication wrong if there's no pregnancies?
Because that's a prostitution.
No, there's no exchange of money. Why is it wrong for a girl to bring her boyfriend to her father's house, have sex with the father if there's no unwanted pregnancies? Why is that bad?
Ask a father, any father in the world.
What if the father says, I'm okay with it because I don't want my daughter out in some club where there could be like drugs being spiked in her drink. At least she's at home where she's safe. I know the kid. I know this boy. He seems like a really good boy. I know his family. They have my blessing. Now, here's my question. Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Why?
Because that's fornication. And fornication is
Why is that wrong? Because it's fornication. Why is that type of fornication wrong?
Because there's
Say it, Sam. You can do it.
Yeah. An example is unwanted babies. Okay. Another example is
Sam, keep up. There's no unwanted babies in this scenario.
STDs also.
Tell me. There's an answer. It's in your brain. All you have to do is have the courage to spit it out. Why is that fornication wrong?
As I said, promiscuity, sexual diseases, and unwanted.
Okay, these are answers I would give. Yes, I don't want sexual. Okay, but their health has been checked. There's no sexual diseases, no unwanted babies. Why is that type of fornication wrong?
At the end of the day, because God says so.
There you go. Another 5 minutes has to pass before you can admit that. You say that type of fornication is wrong because Daddy says so. And you're scared of Daddy because you're a 10 out of 10 on the fear factor of hell. So we got to do what Daddy says.
I see why God said so. That's the point. I see why.
No. Because everything you mentioned before you mentioned Daddy said so was things like unwanted pregnancy. Hey, guess what? I agree with you. No God required. Sexual transmitted diseases. Hey, guess what, Sam? I agree with you. I wouldn't want that either for my daughter, but no God required. We do not need Allah.
Yeah.
We do not need Allah to help against unwanted pregnancies. We do not need Allah to lower STDs. We do not need him. Tell me why I need Allah.
And that's why there is that design flow of the shortness of life.
What?
Because if you were eternal, you would say, yeah, I don't need Allah. I would not die of any disease and so on.
Tell me why I need him.
Since life is not eternal, life is finite. You can say all you want. I don't need God. I don't need any religion. But
so we're back to hell.
At the end of life, that's when the truth comes.
Yeah, there we go. I need Allah because if I don't submit to him, I'm going to that dismal hell place, which is really, really bad. That's all you got, Sam. That's all you got. You better hope hell is real. You better hope paradise and heaven is real, because if it isn't, you are to be pitied as a fool. Have a good day.
Why?
Because it's all you got. I'll explain why I'm cranky later. Caleb, sorry you had to see that, my friend.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry, I would have just closed out of the tab to get ahead of that. But oh boy, that was something else for sure. So, I think you're.
Why do I need Jesus, Caleb?
I think you're 0 for 2 on the Theist right now, right? Yeah, it's a shame.
Shut up, fool!
There you go.
Okay, what did you want to talk about?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think after that just opens the whole avenue of things. But yeah, I don't know. Just random thought that came to my head. I've been thinking about it for a while, but since you did the poof or drown thing with, I forget what his name was
David.
earlier. David, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, what if we were to take I'm curious of how you would answer a similar situation, but let's give some context. So let's say that, in your thought experiment with the napkin, right, the water soaked napkin. Let's say that happens. You're convinced God does that. It lights on fire. Your whole worldview changes. Okay, so let's say that you're persuaded that. Now let's say that God, after doing that, comes down and asks you to do something that is, in your mind, immoral, right? But God's already demonstrated that he exists and that he knows more than you. In fact, he's like, Doug, write a 20-digit number on a piece of paper. I'll tell it to you like that. I can prove to you that I'm omniscient and all that stuff. So if God does that to you and then says, okay, Doug, now, because I've shown that I know more than you, I want you to take it on faith and trust me. I want you to go, shoot up a school or something. Would you say, well, God, you do know more than me. You've clearly shown that. I'll do that. Or would you say, no, God, I'm not going to do that. My moral intuition is even stronger than any evidence you can give me for a miracle. I'm curious of what you would say to that.
I would say, I would say, no, I won't shoot up a school, and kill me if you wish.
Yeah, no. I think that's probably what I would say as well, that I would lean towards. But it's hard to like rationalize, because like in theory, if God does know more than we do, then his morality would probably be, he would know more about morals than we would, right? So
Yeah,
in principle,
but I, as a sentient being, still has the right to ask what is the reason, and if he doesn't give me the reason, I can still be a conscientious observer and say, no, I'm not going to do what you want.
So he would have to give you, it wouldn't be enough for him to just show that he clearly knows more than you do, and therefore he knows the reasons, and that's enough. You'd have to actually have him give an argument. Well, okay, what if he says the reasons are too much for you to understand? For him to explain?
I'd say, you're all powerful, aren't you? Help me understand.
Oh, so you would want God to impugn that knowledge into you to do that?
Yeah, so basically, this is similar to Sam, who the previous caller.
Mm-hmm. Muslim Sam, yeah.
The questions you're asking about is like, what would you do for this God?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I would still have to look at each situation. If God asked me to do something, I'm still not going to blindly trust him, even if he can see the future, because I might just choose to disobey. And so then you can ask the question, well, why is that bad to choose to disobey? Well, because he's God. Well, so what? Well, because he can hurt you. And then we're back to Sam, right? Like,
yeah, that's part of it. I mean, that's part of it. But I think it's the idea, if God, forget God being the source of morality, but let's say that if God's omniscient, he has to know all morality. He has to know all moral things, right? So if God could demonstrate to you that he does know all things, wouldn't that make sense to therefore take his judgment on that, because you know that he would have to know what's best?
No, actually, being omniscient doesn't automatically mean that your judgments are correct.
What would you mean by that?
Like, someone can see the future and still take steps to, let's say, avoid something and still be incorrect.
But wouldn't they have to know the steps they're taking would not work?
Or let's say, imagine, let me make it really clear. Imagine an evil God that can see the future.
Okay, well, that's a good question. Would it make sense for an omniscient God to be evil?
Would it make sense for omniscient God? Would it make sense? I don't even know what that means. Would it make sense? I don't believe in any gods exist. I don't believe omniscience exists. So
I know, but
would it make sense for
we're doing thought experiments, Doug? Come on, you know.
There's nothing. There's nothing in omniscience that could be either good or bad.
But you agree that an omniscient God would have to know all good things by definition, right?
And all bad things. So what?
Okay, okay, that's interesting. So do you think that you don't think evil exists? Like, I don't want to use the word ontological because you don't like philosophy, but
bad things happen. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. And is bad a thing, or is bad just not good? Like, is it like a cold? Is it like a heat and cold situation?
Why are you doing this to me, Caleb? You want to talk about the privation of good? Like,
no, I don't want to get into.
What's the point of all this?
Because you you just asked. That's why I said, could an evil God be omniscient? That's why it's relevant to that. If you want to move on,
why can't an evil God be omniscient?
Because if evil is not a thing, but it's just the lack of something, then if God doesn't,
good's not a thing. Good is the lack of evil.
Well, okay, I don't think that's it. I know that you would say, if I say that
how that works, it's easy.
Yeah.
I'm just taking the Stephen Law thing and you just flip everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I can see what you're saying.
But what does this have to do with omniscience? And what's your point of coming on here and you're asking me, would you trust this God, right? Is that the basic question?
Yeah.
And I answered it. I said,
yes, you did.
Depends, but if you're talking about shooting up schools, and if God says, hey, I can see the future and there's more sufficient reasons you should shoot up a school, I'd say, I would look God in the face and I would go like this. I said, if you have morally sufficient reasons to do it, then you shoot up the kids. But guess what? I'm going to try to stop you and you'll have to kill me too.
You say he's just a schmuck at that point, right?
Oh, he's a big schmuck.
Schmuck, yeah.
Not worthy to be worshipped.
Yeah. Is that a phrase that's used? I don't know. I think that's more like a New England kind of, I don't know, Canadians use the word schmuck much. You know? Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that was the first thing came to mind.
Did I make my point clear enough?
No, you did. Yeah, no. Yeah.
There you
go.
know,
I'm not very combative when it comes to stuff.
I know. You're a nice guy. I like you.
Oh, thanks, Doug. Yeah, too bad you don't like God, right? But yeah, no. I think it was just getting to the point of like, what about convincing you versus like actually like, being in a relationship with God. And I think that you and I would both agree that if there were moral reasons that you would disagree with God, doesn't matter if you believed in him or not, you would still say like, no, I don't want to be with you. So that's kind of what I try to ask a lot of people.
It has to be demonstrated, just like your spouse, my spouse. What makes me want to do good things for my spouse? When I've seen a demonstration that she has my best intentions. Mm-hmm. She has my back. And then I have her back. It's like a quid pro quo. I'm not a big believer in that. Oh, this whole selfless love without strings attached. No. True love has tons of strings attached, tons of contingencies.
It's interesting. Do you think that love is ultimately selfish? Not in a bad way per se, but that you get self-gratification from...
Yeah, I lean towards that way. Like, I think even when people say they're doing this, like, even, I just want to go to heaven because I just love Jesus. No, you're saying that, but you want to go to heaven because, number one, you don't want to go to hell. Number two, you think heaven's going to be this wonderful place. And this whole idea, I just love Jesus. No, you love Jesus for what he can do for you. Do. Don't give me you to love him for who he is. Because who he is what he can do for you. Am I wrong?
I think that I probably agree. I think that I probably would agree with the general sentiment that you're getting what you want, but I would say that just, God is ultimately what you want in that sense. But yeah,
but why do you want God?
Well, if God is, a massive love and just the
massive love. It's
like
a tumor.
I think I meant to say like the mass, and not like a metastasized mass.
What good is a massive love if it doesn't do anything for you?
Well, Christians think that Jesus died for them, right? No, I know you don't believe that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
So that's why you love Jesus, because he stopped you from going to hell.
Well, That, and I think he showed us how to love each other, and I think that he, forgave us. Well, forgave
Okay,
us
yeah.
for our sins and
Well,
counts towards hell.
why is it good to love other people?
Why is it good to love other people?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we as humans are social animals, and that we crave that interaction, and we like to
Right.
get along with other people.
Once we get those cravings met, we feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
but that's what Jesus talked about with the, on the water that you'll never be thirsty again, right? I think that you do see that idea. Of
Yes.
fulfilling all your desires. Yeah.
I have come to give life and life to the full.
Yes.
Jesus is the ultimate heroin drug. It's what he can give
Wow.
you. Jesus, if Jesus could leave track marks, every Christian's arms would just be full of holes.
I mean, his arms were full of holes too from the nails, but it's not
Okay.
Jesus is the heroin, but without the withdrawal. All
Thanks,
right.
Caleb.
Thanks, Doug. Have a nice day.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it. Have fun.
Okay, you guys want to know why I'm so cranky? I'm off. I'm on day 2, day 3, beginning day 3. I'm off of all caffeine. And I love my strong black coffee. Just like I like my women, hot, black, and strong. I'm off caffeine and I'm off nicotine. No more nicotine gum. No more caffeine. No more nicotine. And it sucks. What's my dog doing? That better be my dog. What are you doing? Okay, you're fine. Yeah, you got a bone to chew. I got nothing to chew. Well, I got some gum here. And for those of you who don't know, nicotine is probably one of the most addictive chemicals out there on the planet. I mean, the hardest to come off of. Except for like maybe heroin or methamphetamines or I don't know. But you don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me, Tangela. I'm not asking for your pity. Turn off your tab. Come on, be ready. And what's with the inner tubes behind there? My goodness. You look like a redneck. You got a redneck living room. No, redneck living rooms are outside, right? You don't even know what a redneck is, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, who do you want to save from hell today?
Everybody that's in the chat, listen, hell exists, heaven exists. Christ came to die on the cross for our sins. Repent.
Okay. That's all you need to say, really, right? You've accomplished everything in one short sentence.
Well, I don't want that you kick me out. I want to have a chat a little bit.
Okay. What next?
Well, my question is, God isn't showing up and lightening your
water soaked napkin.
Yeah, right. So my question, Doug, is, can it be that nonetheless God exists, even if he doesn't attend?
Can it be? That's another way of asking, is it possible? Come on.
Well, not just can it be, but I would say, despite that he doesn't attend your wish, I think his existence is still more plausible than the opposite and the contrary.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Well, I would like that you give your opinion on that. I mean, you said, I heard you previously say, I think it's not plausible. But what do you think is plausible in regards of the claim that the natural world is all there is?
Very plausible.
Based on what evidence?
Based on the defeaters for anything to the contrary. That's a stupid way. That's a philosophical way of answering, and I hate philosophy. I sound like David before.
Well, you need to have some data points to say. Therefore, it seems to me
because when you and I walk down the street and we see, I don't know, a twig fall off a tree, we don't invoke anything non-natural, do we?
No.
No. When we see people fall and hurt themselves, We don't invoke demons, do we?
No.
No, we don't. We invoke the laws of physics. When we see people even fall and start to convulse, we don't say that there's a demon in them, do we? We say they have epilepsy, right?
Yes, but where did
Yes.
the laws of physics come from?
Oh. Well, how would you answer that for God? Where does
Well, I
God
would
come
say-
from?
I would say God is eternal, non-created.
The laws of physics are eternal, non-created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here the problem with this proposition is, Doc, that why should they even exist and be there? Why should the universe be stable?
How would you answer that for your God? Why should God even exist and be there?
Well, the thing is, first of all, we exist, and that demands an explanation.
Answer my question.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll say I don't know either.
Right.
I may as
but
well.
But here is the difference. The physical universe is stable, ordered, predictable.
Don't read. Don't read off your monitor.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Keep
I'm
your
not.
eyes straight.
Yeah.
If I see them go to the left.
Okay, I look straight in the cam. So
There you go. Now talk.
Right. So that demands an explanation. There are no deeper groundings which demand that the universe is that way. It could be constantly oscillating or popping in and out of existence, or the forces which are stable today, they could also be constantly oscillating, and we wouldn't be here if that were the case. So how do you explain that?
It just is, Atangelo.
And do you think, is that for yourself a good, a satisfying intellectual explanation? Just say,
it's the best we got.
This.
And that's the exact answer you would give if I asked about why does God exist. You would say he just is. So we're at an impasse. Thanks for coming on, Otangelo.
Bye-bye.
I really do not like that, man. I'm going to play a clip of something so I can go pee. And so while I'm peeing, you will hear something clever that I have said in the past. This cleverness will make you feel good while I'm peeing. Don't think that this is a diversionary tactic. This is called marketing. This is smart. The home office at Wichita says I should do this. So put up your feet, relax. What? Why can't I do this? Oh, it's because you didn't make a specific playlist for your shorts, Doug. No, yeah, I did. No, you didn't. Why are you talking to yourself? I'm not talking to myself. You are talking to yourself. No, there's people listening to you, so don't think you're crazy. I'm not crazy. So what if I haven't been on caffeine or nicotine for 70 hours? What do you think they want to listen to? I don't know. Oh, this is good. No, that's not good. I'm scared to look at the chat. Oh, no, we don't want to do Jonathan McClatchy, do we? Oh, this guy. Yeah, this is in... Yeah, we'll play this guy. Deep with Christianity. There's nothing that can shake your foundation. Am I right? Like, even if I showed you the bones of Jesus, you would say that's not really Jesus's bones.
It would be difficult for me to accept.
I really think when you say preponderance of the evidence, I can layer any piece of evidence you want. And, well, we can try it. My great-great-great-great-grandfather could fly unaided. He could just fly. And he flew across the Grand Canyon hundreds, maybe even thousands of years ago in Grand Canyon. He just, North Rim, flew to the South Rim. That's the claim I'm making. You know nothing else at this point. Do you believe it?
No.
No. Okay.
Are you willing to die for it?
Hang on. Now, there's a document. It's kind of called a creed. It's in a letter. And in this letter, it says that he flew in front of 500, he flew in front of 12, and finally he flew to the author of the letter. Do you believe it now?
Like I said, are you willing to die for that belief?
Do you believe it now, based on the claim and that evidence? Okay.
No.
Now let's add on, there's 4 diaries written years after my ancestor flew. 4 different diaries written by 4 of the people associated with the event that claim that my ancestor claimed to be God. He claimed to do miracles, or they say he did miracles, and that he flew. And it gives more detail of who he flew in front of women first. And do you believe it now?
Again, no. But
No, you don't believe it.
my question is, were any of those people willing to die for the
Okay,
belief?
so this is a sticking point for you. It's
Is
the
that-
willingness to die.
that's- it's
You
not-
don't believe my ancestor flew based on the creed about the
But were they willing to die? Because if they're willing to die, then it must be true.
You notice fewer and fewer people are willing to defend Christianity like the usual way, through evidence. Like David, my first guest here today, basically he basically is a precept. Has to be true, because it's ludicrous if it isn't. Has to be true that a man rose from the dead. Has to be true that his atoms and his gooiness and inside his intestines had to recoagulate or whatever, order itself back together. Room's open, I think. What? Orchid's here? Orchid.
What's up, guys?
You heard, right?
What? I just chimed in.
Oh, okay. Then I won't tell you.
What?
I'm off my nicotine and my caffeine. I'm drug-free right now.
Oh, so my prayers did work.
No. You prayed for that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I prayed that you become a better man.
A better man. I'll show you a better man. You ready? What do you want to talk about?
I have a thought experiment. You love those, right?
Yeah, I love them. Go ahead. Make it short and sweet.
So I want to do the Myron on you, but this one is called Christ is Lord.
I'm
So I
listening.
will ask you a question, right? I will add evidences, and you will say Christ is Lord or Christ is not Lord.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a consensus that Matthew is written early, so Bachman's view becomes prevalent among the top
Christ is
scholarship.
not Lord. Next.
And in Matthew it says, I, Matthew, wrote the gospel.
Christ is not Lord. Next.
We see self-attestation in John, Luke, Mark. All the gospels self-identify. And we see that
Christ is not
we're
Lord.
witness-
Next.
We have at least 5 independent witnesses of resurrection who identify themselves.
Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. That's better. That's the best thing you've said so far, but I still say Christ isn't Lord. Next. But it's better.
Okay, the apparent contradictions you thought were pretty bad. New evidence has started to arise that showed they can be rationalized.
Christ is not
like
risen,
infancy,
not Lord. Next.
resurrection narrative.
I'm not a big contradictions guy. You know that.
Okay, we find other evidences, writs, relics, that apostles were truly martyred, which is conclusive.
That the apostles were truly martyred. Yeah, you need to add in a whole bunch of other stuff. If you would say something like, we have 5 independent witnesses who claim in the first person of what they saw. They had no idea who the other people were, and then we have conclusive evidence that they had a chance to recant and they didn't, and that they were killed for that specific belief, and that they saw other people who did recant and lived. Now, if that happened, now we have something.
Christ is Lord?
Well, no, because Christ is Lord means that Christ is God, right? We didn't even talk about this.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, no.
So it's still not enough.
But
right?
no, because when we're talking about the martyrdom, we're talking about I saw this guy rise from the dead. So, but I would say that the evidence would be much, much stronger that Jesus rose from the dead. But that's a different question than if Jesus is God, right? Those are two separate things.
But focus on my question, right? If I ask you Christ is Lord or not, right?
I'm helping you here.
Yeah, you need to answer yes or no with Christ is Lord.
I did.
Right? That's
no,
my...
Christ is not Lord.
Okay,
based on that, what you said.
Then let's go further. We uncover another gospel from an eyewitness that self-identifies, and we see that he's also writing while being persecuted in another region. And historians conclude from the writing that he wasn't with the others while he was writing.
That's better, but I still would say Christ not Lord. You know why? You can go on for like half an hour like this. I will, because
we can.
You should have started with a man rose from the dead, because it is really difficult to demonstrate someone is God using the historical method. In fact, I think it's impossible.
So it's actually not this evidence will not sway you in any way. It will not tip the scale.
Not
right?
for the
historical evidence is
not for the type of claim you're making. No.
So it's not about evidence, right?
No, it is, but it's not.
You have this huge
bias. It's not. It is about the evidence, but not about the historical evidence for this particular type of claim. In other words, I'm saying the historical method can approach it, but I think it's really difficult to demonstrate. You can't demonstrate because you can't repeat history to show that a historical supernatural type claim is true. Now, if you want to,
let me add a few more, and I will see if historical evidence.
It's a waste of time. I already told you that I'm going to say no to it.
If you found Tacitus scrolls of surveys where he says that hundreds of people, even naming some prominent families, that are truly saying they saw Christ and they saw his hands with scars, and hundreds of them affirmed that he was risen. No. Okay. Okay. Let's go in another route, right? You start attending the mass because you start like the chants and from established choirs because it's close to you. And one day you enter and you see twitching and twisting and twirling, and he's blaspheming Jesus and Mother Mary, and his voice is very demonic, and he's speaking in weird
languages. You have zero self-awareness, do you? You don't notice I'm not listening to you?
You're playing Titanic sounds.
Have some self-awareness, Orchid. Realize this guy I'm talking to is not interested in what I'm saying, and be smart enough to realize maybe I should shut up and leave.
Well, I'm using your tactics on you, and you're
I already gave you everything you
it.
wanted. I said the historical method is not sufficient, in my opinion.
I'm showing you that it's not about evidence, Doug. You don't believe because you're suppressing the truth.
Orchid, I've already told you that what would change my mind, what my markers are. Do you know what they are?
Well,
Do you know what they are, Orchid?
Yeah, I'm giving you miracle
Orchid,
evidence.
listen to me. I said
you're
making
angry.
the claim it's not about evidence. I have markers that will change my mind. What are they?
Doug.
Orchid,
Doug.
what are they?
Doug.
Do you want to stay on
the
or not?
Thought experiment or not?
I already answered your thought experiment.
You will run away. Okay, run away.
Do you know what? Yeah. Oh my goodness. You do not come in here with a guy who hasn't had caffeine or nicotine for 70 hours and do this sort of thing. Orchid, you're never coming on again. Never. Not knowingly.
Hey, PineCreek.
There's a guy doing some stuff. He thinks he's special. Are you done? Yeah, run away and then he leaves. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Orchid believes that Jesus is God because he saw red beady eyes in a nightclub and thought the guy was a demon. True story. This is fun. Yeah, see, it's these scary demon type stories. These are the real reasons why people believe. Okay, who do we got here? Yeah. I want to play Mr. Deity. Someone said that he mentioned me here.
Where they could suffer unspeakably. Then we added in the...
Okay, I got it. I'll rewind it.
In part 2 of this one-part series, we played God, and not in a Mr. Deity kind of way. We imagined being all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving, and creating sentient creatures in a world where they could suffer unspeakably. Then we added in the possibility, or rather the likelihood, of these creatures suffering eternal torments in the hereafter, ultimately realizing that none of us would create such creatures in such a setting. And yet, this is, according to Christianity, exactly what the tribal war god of Abraham did. Our friend Doug over on the PineCreek channel has a number of questions he asks Christians which make this same point. If you were considering having a child, and you learned that this child would ultimately end up in hell suffering eternal torments, would you choose to create that baby? I don't think I've ever heard anyone answer that question in the affirmative. Then Doug asks them if refraining from creating that child would be a loving act, not bringing the child into the world when it's known that the child will ultimately suffer endless eternal torments. Yes, it would be a loving act. Did God create me, knowing that if I die a non-Christian, I'll go to hell? Yes. Then he generally lets them dangle there at the end of the rope they've just tied around their necks.
Yeah, that's a good summary. What he's talking about is, and I brought it up here, with one particular person I let them dangle on a rope. What was this guy's name? Was it Nathan? Oh yeah, it's Nathan. Have this child, it will end up in hell. I've seen the future. And God's never wrong about the future.
Yeah.
Would you have that child?
I probably wouldn't.
Okay. Why?
I wouldn't want that future for them.
And by you not having that child, I would say you were loving, yes?
By not having the child, I would say that I was loving.
You did a loving act by probably to yourself, to your wife, and to their future by not having them, by basically saying, no, they won't have a future because that future involves hell.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. Did God know that if I die a non-Christian, I'll go to hell?
Yes.
Did he create me?
Did he create you? Yes. Yeah.
There it is. In fact, there is such great evidence for no God. You know that we should actually start making t-shirts that says, look, there's a tree, therefore God. Look, there's a tree, therefore no God. Or no Christianity, or no Islam. Just the fact that there's creation, where there's evil, sin, pain, suffering, and trees. Strong evidence there's no God. You take everything that the Christian or Muslim says is strong evidence for a God, and you do realize you can flip it right back on them. Isn't that amazing? Hey, Sample Pack.
Yo.
What's up?
Well, I don't know if this will brighten your day, but my brother's gotten into poker, and I said, well, you were down to lose some money, and he was like, well, maybe. And so, wanted to know if I should just send you an email.
Your brother, not you.
Yeah, I'm not ready to lose that money.
Oh. Well, a brother of a semi-acquaintance. I don't know about that. That's a little too far removed. I wasn't sure. I would have to vet him.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Is he anything
What?
like you?
I think we're pretty different, but pretty similar. Similar personalities, different interests.
Okay. Well, email me and or email me and tag or not tag. What do you mean? Copy his
Skim or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Did you once say that Mr. Deity was the straw that broke the camel's back for you? I don't know if I said the straw that broke the camel's back, but Mr. Deity was very influential in my deconversion, and it's because he uses comedy. I like to think I use comedy as well, but in a different sort of way. It's more of a sarcastic comedy, dry wit, humor. Low production comedy. But once you can get their defenses down, once you can get a theist defenses down, and that's what I said to Sam earlier, if his fear of hell is a 10 out of a 10, not just for himself, but for others, like how in the world can you think objectively about your religion? When you have so much fear. And the same goes for you piddly-widdly little Christians who say, oh, I'm not worried about hell. I'm a universalist. I just think God loves everyone. And so I'm a universalist. You got problems of why a God would create with all the pain and suffering on this planet. And your love for this God. I mean, I just love him so much. Oh, I just love God. Yeah, if you're that type of person who just loves God for who he is, my goodness, you're not going to see the evidence objectively. Not even close. How can you? You think you can see evidence against your loved ones objectively? You're the worst person. This is why people recuse themselves on the stand when they got someone they love, family member. You don't take their case as a lawyer. Fear and love are the two emotions that will prevent you from seeing clearly. And fear and love are the things that Christianity is based on. Can I get an amen? Room's open. The Apostle Paul helped me deconvert. Is it all that women should be silent type stuff? PineCreek was the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh. Mr. Deity is to PineCreek as PineCreek is to Chem Trooper. Should I make a law from this day forward? No more Orchid, no more Otangelo, no more people who have been here 10 times already. Keep the door open for new theists. Thank you, Mr. Tut. He didn't agree with Jesus, but then it made me analyze. Oh, yeah, Melody Joy, right. The gospel of Paul is different than the gospel of Jesus. What do you mean, Doug? What are you talking about? What is Paul's Christianity all about? Paul's Christianity is one of grace. You can't do anything to inherit the kingdom. You're elected before the foundations of the earth. What's Jesus' gospel? Give to the poor. Do. Believe. Take up your cross. Follow me. If Paul and Jesus ever met each other, they would have fought. Paul would have said, hey, look here, Jesus. Let me tell you what you really believe. Okay, Danny, how do I go live on TikTok? Oh, I can't hear you. I'm going to show you something here. You tell me if what you have is different than what I have. I can hear you now, I think. Make sure there's no incriminating stuff. Okay. Oh, no, I can't hear you. I can't. Sorry, I thought I could. I heard a static there for a second. You guys notice I got a new chair, right? Gamer chair.
Okay, this should work now.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, it was hooked up to my TikTok stuff, but the microphone was. Yeah. Did you put a date of birth?
Yes.
Okay, so then I have no clue what it is. So when you go to the plus sign, right on the bottom of the app,
look,
you're gonna have, there's like 3 or 4 options. Okay, and scroll all the way to the right.
That's what I didn't do. I didn't know you could scroll all the way to the right. So I can go live right now on TikTok.
You can go live right now. Let me tell you how successful I am on it. In the last 7 days, I've gotten 80,000 views on my lives. Wow. 80,000. And there's a couple strategies. What a lot of people do and what I do. In fact, there's the less I think you just put a list of topips.
Okay, I'm pressing go live, but didn't ask me the title or anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't have all that from memory. So
can you go to my account and see if I'm live?
Yeah.
You're don't worry, we'll put you on the payroll.
And it will save a replay, but without a chat, by the way. Yep, I can see you.
Okay, so now if I This is stupid. Why is TikTok stupid where you have to use your phone and not a desktop?
It is really stupid. I got an adapter to the bottom of my iPad or my phone, like $70 adapter. Now I can hook up this microphone to TikTok. The video, again, you can use an adapter to plug in what you want, but you need adapters to do what you want to do with the perfect setup. Also, you can get a stream key and use something like StreamYard. I think it's called Streamlabs. If you have a stream key, you can actually then stream from your computer. But those are hard to get.
Yeah.
But do you know? Okay, yeah. You want to. The green screen does not help, right? So I have a green screen right here. Doesn't make a difference. The TikTok settings aren't sophisticated enough.
Yeah, hang on a second. For the people on TikTok listening right now, I'm talking to a guy on YouTube right now, so you can't hear him. So welcome, but yeah, stay tuned. Okay, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, the green screen won't make a dent on your settings. Okay, so it every time I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, that's without a green screen. It does okay, but it is kind of like it's not going to be as crisp as yours, because TikTok settings are not sophisticated enough for that. So what a lot of people do, I mean, have you seen any of my lives or no?
Yeah. I've actually commented on it.
You just put like your topic up and people will start requesting. You don't have that many trolls because in order to even join, you have to have a certain amount of thousands. So there's no porn bombing. There's not, compared to YouTube, it's probably a little bit better in quality, but you can't invite people on. You're just stuck with people that have 1,000 followers or above. But if you're from Europe or from the Middle East, or you can join with any amount of followers. So that's kind of what's up.
See, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to find myself going live on TikTok through desktop and then copy screen capture that and put it through my XSplit.
Yeah. Well, the best way, do you have a iPad?
No.
Okay. Or two phones?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the other phone, I log on a different account and I screen record and it comes out great.
How come I can't even find myself live streaming on desktop?
Yeah, I think you have to log on a different account. That's right. I have two accounts on TikTok, but what TikTok allows you to do is switch between accounts flawlessly. It's very easy to switch between accounts.
Oh, you're right. As soon as I logged out, I can see myself. That is so stupid.
Yeah.
But I can't.
It's not very friendly. Like the benefit of look, you have 173 views. 173 people watching you right now
on TikTok.
Yes.
That's stupid.
Yeah, you can get views very fast. You get any interesting kind of conversation about
what's wrong with your lives, people? There's 173 of you watching me right now. I'm not just talking to a guy on YouTube.
Yeah, there's 112 people.
Get back to work. What's wrong with these people, Danny?
It's going down. It's at 86 now.
Oh, really? So
yeah, it shot up and yeah, it's dwindling.
Yeah. Okay. No, hey guys, what I usually do here is I ask people why do they believe what they believe. Well, you've seen my videos. That's why you're here. I need a stream key. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, even if I use a stream key, I can't have two stream keys, right? I can't do YouTube and TikTok.
Streamlabs does multi-platform streaming, but I don't know how that works with TikTok, but there is such a thing. Streamlabs is the only platform that I know, the only OBS platform that I know that allows you to stream to TikTok from your desktop. So it looks like it, and this is relatively new. I think live.
Mindful Chimp says this is the future. YouTube's dead. No, I have a suspicion TikTok might not even be here in a year.
Boom.
Boom, chugga-lugga. Yeah, you hear that, TikTok? You're going down. There's too many, especially if the Republicans win big in the next few years. Maybe it won't go away completely, but it's going to change.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, Vines died. That no one saw that coming, right? Vines was like a prototype TikTok, right? But yeah, just so you know, any live that you do, it will save a replay and you can download it. But it's not, I would not trust it for a couple reasons. Number one, sometimes it comes out missing the profile pictures of the guest that you're talking to. It has no record of chat. And also, this is something you need to get used to. You thought YouTube censorship might have been bad. TikTok censorship is next level. You have to be careful.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you can't use the R word. Both like, instead of sexual, you can't say.
You can't use the word hell and gays in the same sentence.
Yeah, you just got to be really careful.
In fact, I bet you I'll go down any second now.
And and if you don't go down, they'll take your replay down if they think it violates community guidelines.
Let's test it. Gays, hell, gays, hell, gays. Let's see if it works.
But I've managed to talk about transgender issues pretty without any problems. Maybe 2 or 3 of my replays have gone down, like they took them down. But just so you know, it's not like YouTube. You have to be careful. You have to say R word, SA, unalive. Be careful with the word kill.
So you can't use the R word? You're talking about the
rape.
Tardry?
RAPE.
Oh, RAPE. I thought you.
That's a word that no one says on TikTok. In fact, they're so scared of saying sexual assault, they'll say SA. They won't use the word kill. They'll use the word unalive. I'm not even joking.
I was raised a farmer, right? And you know that there's a crop called RAPE? I wonder if we should test it.
Yeah, and there are a slew of issues on TikTok. The only benefit of this platform is that there's tremendous exposure. You're gonna get a lot of viewers. But anyways.
So if someone wants to hop in right now, they can, right? I mean, I have to accept them.
You would have to accept them, so I can do it right now.
Okay,
actually, they can hear me. This is perfect. I can request.
Come on in.
Yeah, but I have to be careful. I'm gonna see if I can put on headphones. That way, they don't hear the audio. But
by the way, for all you YouTube people, there's these kids nowadays who think TikTok's the future. Danny's one of them.
I'm just riding the wave.
Yeah. PineCreek _Doug. That's where I am on TikTok. Just don't be rude and you'll be fine, says Mindful Chip.
Okay. Wait,
the thing is, rudeness is such a very horrible standard. Like if I tell a Christian, I believe Jesus is just merely a man and not God, and they go, what? And they get all offended. Have I been rude?
I requested on your thing.
Oh. Now there should be something blatant.
On the bottom left, and this is another thing about TikTok. Sometimes it doesn't notify you that people request. So you have to check it sometimes.
Oh my goodness. I see 2 people.
Oh, let me see. I see 1. That's weird. Okay, so but do you see you should be able to accept me. Do you see it? Bottom left, it says multi-guest. That button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to hear you twice. I got to.
Yeah, you can mute me.
Yeah, I'll mute you here, I guess. Yeah, and then my mic will pick up your sound. Yeah, there might be a lag. Yeah, there'll be a 7-second lag. Okay. There you go. And I can turn on my camera. So this works. The only thing I need to do now is be able to somehow get on my desktop me conversing with people on TikTok so I can pump it through XSplit and then into YouTube. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've done a lot of research on that StreamYard stuff. I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself so I can't even talk. But are the YouTube people hearing me twice? No, because I muted you on one platform. Okay. In fact, they're probably not even hearing you. Actually, let me unmute you here because the sound's probably not good enough. Okay, keep going.
Getting that stream key is very difficult. It's like a golden ticket at this point. A lot of people want them. They're like minority people have them. So good luck getting that. What I do is I have an iPad that I stream from, and then I record everything on my phone, but you won't get your YouTube crowd in, right? So it's just a mess. There's no easy way to do it.
Oh, that sucks. Actually, probably the better way is, okay, how many people do I have watching right now on TikTok? 29? 33?
33.
Okay. So basically, I have to say something like, if you want to talk to me and ask me questions, or I ask you questions, go to YouTube.
There are people that do that. One person that does that, his name is John Steele. He's a Christian. He's a Christian, like, I don't think he likes the word apologist, but he does apologetics. Big John Steele. He's a and that's what he does. He's like, I'm streaming on YouTube right now. If you want to talk to me, go to YouTube. And he still gets a decent viewership on TikTok.
Okay. Or I guess I think it just come in here, and then, but then
it's no easy way.
Yeah. Because right now, see, the thing is, there's 406 people watching this garbage on YouTube right now. And when I say garbage, I mean just, we're talking about tech stuff.
Right.
And 53 on TikTok. But you're saying that I could potentially be in the thousands watching?
Probably not in the beginning, but with well, first of all, just to let you know, when someone enters your live on TikTok, their followers know. So if you get a really popular person, like, you know, on your live, their followers are going to flood in. So every time you accept people in, they're, you know, so that's one way that you get traffic. So it doesn't all depend on your followers. But yeah, I would anticipate that if you stream the next 2 weeks doing similar stuff to what you're doing here, except, you know, you're interviewing people, you're having debates, one-on-ones, you are easily going to get an average of 400, 300 people, and then within a month. And then other people that are like have 50K followers plus, they easily get to 1.2K thousand, 1.2K. Wow, that's repetitive. I repeated myself. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I got to eat. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. I'm going to
bye.
stay on TikTok for a little bit here, and I'm going to see if I get any bites.
Okay, bye.
So if there's any Christians watching right now, I have a claim. No, you can go. Yeah, you go. See ya, Danny. So I'm going to make a claim here that most, I won't say all, but most Christians who believe in Christianity, it's because of a psychological need. I think most people, Christians who are products of the Enlightenment, meaning live in the United States, mind their own business, do what they do on their workplace and so forth. They don't believe people walk on water. They don't believe people rise above sea level and disappear into clouds. They don't even believe that if a text that's 2,000 years old says that a man claims to be God and did those things, I really don't think they believe it. They believe it because they have this deep psychological need to make sense of the reality around them, death, fear of the afterlife. Maybe they've had some weird experience of noises in the night and they think it's a demon. So anyhow, that's my claim. It's not about the evidence. It's about these psychological needs. So if you're a Christian listening and you disagree, let me know. But my guess is you won't. Jeff says you just open the box and eat a TikTok. What's the monetary gain of TikTok? Nothing. There's no way to make money on TikTok unless you get something like 10,000 followers, and then yeah. Having a topic background is key. Can you change that on the fly? They take 70%? Oh my goodness. Those Chinese. You listening? 70%. Well, I know some people who want to tax the 1% 70%, so I guess they're not too far off. Oh man, looks like I can't put a title in. You should be able to create a screenshot of a notepad or something. My room is open on Whereby, if anyone wants to call in. And if nobody calls in on TikTok, I'll just leave. I'll show you how to do it after. Make my backgrounds easy. Yeah, I don't understand why people use TikTok. This is horrible compared to YouTube. Anyhow, guys, maybe I can be a convert to TikTok. Maybe I can have a personal experience of TikTok that will just totally change my mind. Maybe I'll be weeping tears of joy once I've had this personal relationship with TikTok. And how do you heck leave TikTok? Someone wants to talk to me on YouTube now. Oh my goodness, that has to be it, right? End live 24. Yeah, bye 24 viewers. Thanks for coming. There's a little tiny button on the top right. That's how you end the live stream. Be like water. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. See if you can figure it out. So my live stream ended. Stream 17 minutes. Had 480 viewers. Only 2 of them were followers. No, 2 new followers. Okay. That's not bad. 480 viewers in 17 minutes. Be like water. I can't hear you. Oh, now I can hear you, I think. Unmute yourself. Yes, I can hear you. Go. Yes, I can hear you. Hello. You got to turn off your YouTube tab and just leave the Whereby tab on. Yes, I can hear you.
For some reason I can't hear at all. Can I retry? Let me try it again.
Okay. Doug is in on the bottom of the TikTok Dunning-Kruger curve. What does that mean? I'm not claiming to know anything about TikTok. Other than that, it's owned by the Chinese. Oh, yes. I think we've talked before, right?
Go. Yes, I have. Yeah, we've talked.
Oh, hang on a second. I changed tabs and I killed the ears of many people listening, but now it should be okay. Okay, what did you want to talk about? Let me see if I remember. You are a Christian who left Christianity, right? Recently?
Oh well. No, I still go. I actually still attend.
You still attend, but you don't really believe.
Yeah, I would say that's fair to say. I have extreme doubts. I would say that I'm like I don't and like I mean yeah, pretty much. I like. I definitely probably will. I'll never be back to the place that I was, for sure. I mean, I've kind of come to a point where it's kind of, I don't know where I'll end up, but I know that I'm not, yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
But I was actually, I've been enjoying having like conversations with some people about like some Christians, like about like like recently I was talking to my uncle, and he has an interesting perspective that kind of, I actually don't really know. I don't believe it at all, but he has an interesting way of getting around the what's it called, the outsider's perspective, like test the outsider's test of faith.
Yeah, he just special pleads, right?
What does that mean actually? What does special pleading mean?
Oh, I experienced the Holy Spirit. Well, that's true. That experience is true. But when other religions experience their God, that's not really true. It's like a demon at best.
No, well, what he actually says is it's all true. Like it's all true at the same time. Like they're all the real thing, but they just don't know it.
And when then what they, if your uncle says that, your uncle's stupid.
Okay.
Your uncle, seriously, your uncle's stupid.
I didn't really know what to say, to be honest, because it's like I never really heard anyone say that.
If someone says in a religion, I know my religion is true because of this personal experience, and this God has told me that Christianity is false. And then if a Christian says, I know Christianity is true because of this personal experience, and it's told me that Christianity is true, the inner witness of the Holy Spirit. Those are two examples where they both can't be true. You take that example I just gave you to your uncle and say, look, you are wrong.
Well, I think what he would say is he thinks that they just don't realize that it's the same thing. Like even though they think it's different, it's actually the same thing. They just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would. If your uncle was here, I'd probably boot him by now.
I don't really know like what, like the problem is I have no idea what's bringing him to that conclusion.
He has no he realizes he has no good way to defend his beliefs, so he resorts to these types of tactics of, well, who can really know anything, and they're all true. He's some type of mix between postmodernist quack and I don't know what. It's just yeah. Why do you even talk to him?
I'm not sure. Why do I talk to him? I don't, because we do have some good conversations, but I would be, to be honest with you, one reason I talk to him is because my circle of influence is like super limited, like as far as like, because like I'm Pentecostal, and like almost everyone that I have, he's not Pentecostal. He's something else. I don't know. He's some sort of Christian, but I don't know exactly what like type of Christian he is. But like he's one of the only non-Pentecostal views that I can like actually communicate with and like get their perspective on things. And because like, and I'm still in the Pentecostal like space. You know what I mean?
So he's your only one. Like, he's your one non-Pentecostal friend.
Not my one. I have like a handful of people, but like he's one of them. Like I would say like 5 or 6 people I can talk to that.
Hang on a second.
Like,
I gotta block someone from my channel forever. Walter. Hide user on channel. Walter's gone forever. Okay. Okay, but you didn't come here to talk to me about your uncle. What's really pressing upon your heart?
I don't know. I just wanted to kind of talk to you about, I guess, like I don't really know. I guess I'm kind of my search for like everything was like super like intense for a while.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know. I guess the need in my mind has kind of weakened or not.
Your audio just went horrible. Someone just texted.
Did it really?
Right? Yeah.
No. Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I can't. I can hear you, but I can't hear you. So.
Okay. Well, let me take my Bluetooth off. Can you hear me now?
It's still horrible. Sorry. What's your first name again? I forget.
Oh. I had it
now
on
it's good.
Wi-Fi. That's probably why.
Yeah.
It was on Wi-Fi.
Turn that off.
I turned off Wi-Fi. So my name's Staten.
Statin. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll remember that because I just started taking statins.
Oh, really?
Never mind. It's an old guy's joke.
Okay. Yeah, like basically I'm just trying to figure, I guess I'm trying to figure out like like, cause my life is probably going to like change a lot just because like
Well, you're going to hell.
have,
You know that, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm not really like worried about that as far like, I'm not worried about like hell and stuff, but
hear that, Sam? He's not worried about hell. Good for you.
Because you asked me that before. But I would say more so what I'm worried about is how to like build my community in a healthy community. You know what I mean?
You play poker?
Like, I'm not that good at it, so you'll probably take all my money. But but I actually
I'm going to be very honest with you, Staten. If you're coming here for social advice, you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not
other than coming here for social advice. I was just kind of bored, and I was like, "Oh, you're live."
Yeah.
On.
No, if you want, I'm not the guy you come to if you want advice on how to, I don't know, what club to choose, what social events to. No, just do what you want to do, and all the best to you. By the way, if someone's dying, I'm not the guy to call to cheer you up. So please, no more calls. I get enough calls. Someone's dying? Can you come to the funeral? I mean, the hospital. No, I'm not doing that anymore. Because, last time I got called to go to the hospital when someone was dying, I said, look, you're an animal. You're going to be rotten soon. And how can we make you more comfortable? Okay. Nobody's an atheist asked to join. This should be fun. Hello? Can you hear me? What am I the guy for? I don't know. That's a good question, Zelini Sak. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. We finally agree on one thing.
Oh, I remember you. What do we
Yeah,
agree
you do,
on?
huh? Finally agree that most Christians are not truly believers. Most people who profess to be Christians are not really believers.
I don't think you are either.
That's the funniest. You don't believe that. Stop lying to yourself.
No. I think
don't lie to
I think you're a poser.
Okay, good luck with that one. Jesus is coming back soon, so you could tell him that when he comes.
Well, we'll find out soon. Every knee will bow, every tongue will confess, and I
guarantee you.
You think you're going to make the cut?
I'm working on it. But quick question. Since you have problems with Christianity, I'm wondering, do you deny also the dark side or demons and spiritual activity?
Yes.
Are you a naturalist?
Yes, I lean that way, yeah.
Okay, so you're really part of a very dying sect.
Yeah,
I believe.
Oh, it makes me feel so good.
No, because since 2012, there was a lot of demonic activity that happened throughout the world.
There was?
For example, what about
Kim Kardashian?
No, I'm gonna give you an example. Don't worry, don't get excited. What do you think about the Hadron Collider and all the spiritual activity that happened with for example, the promotion of the commercial?
Are you talking about when they captured the spirits on the video?
No, I'm talking about the commercial that they came up with, the marketing. There's a video for that, and it was quite spiritual.
Did it have demons in it?
There was a person whose face was not really human, you could say. Why would they do a commercial like that?
Is it on YouTube, the commercial?
Of course.
What's the name of the title?
Put Hadron Collider commercial. Or put demonic commercial so you could get straight to it. So you never heard about this?
No, no.
Wow. And what about the staged sacrifice or the mock sacrifice they did on?
I still don't see it.
What about the fact that they say they're trying to open different dimensions? Is that something that you find kind of weird, or is it normal in your worldview?
I think it's people making up stories.
It's people making up stories, but that's the greatest scientific project in the world right now. These people are supposed to be scientists. This happened like in 2012.
You know,
like
if I had more energy, if I wasn't a little bit tired right now, I'd have fun with you. But you're not even fun.
I'm not fun.
No, you're not even fun.
I was trying to entertain you with the demonic side.
I would try to go down the road of just taking every single conspiracy theory you have or every spiritual types thing and just heighten it, make it bigger than it is, and just enjoy it and sink my teeth into it and just have fun with it. But I don't.
Okay. How about I leave you with this one? What about the Kali projection on the Empire State Building?
What in the world are you talking about? Why do you believe demons exist?
Do you live under a rock? You've never heard about the Kali projection, the goddess Kali projection on the Empire State Building, the very demonic projection of an image on the Empire State Building?
No, but I do believe in projection. Like,
wait, okay, so somebody get this straight. Your
projectors, yeah,
there was I'm sorry, the projectors or the image that was on the Empire State Building. You never seen that? You never heard of it? It's in New York, the capital of the world. You didn't know about this? You
didn't know about demons on the top of that building?
No, I'm talking about the goddess Kali on the Empire State Building.
A picture?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It was projected on the whole building.
What's the big deal?
Oh, a goddess Kali looking very demonic on the Empire State Building.
How does one look demonic?
Oh, well, how about evil?
How does one look evil?
Do you know?
Do I look demonic to you?
Well, that's we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
What? You're just throwing stuff around.
Okay, so somebody get it straight. Do you know Kali is known as a person that kills people and has very pictures with decapitated heads? I don't know. Is that a good thing for you, or is that evil according to your understanding?
What, taking people's heads off? Yeah, I'm not for that.
Decapitating with blood coming out of their mouth.
I do not support decapitation in my administration.
Okay, so basically, this is what was projected on the Empire State Building. Okay, how about this? Why did they project
Why does
the
this
goddess
have anything
Kali?
to do with demons?
Well, I'm trying to see what your standard of evil or weird is, because it seems to me nothing is
I'm
weird.
I'm going to ask you a question right now, and I want you to be very honest. I think I already know the answer because I think I've asked you this, but are you on any medication?
Never. I think you need medication.
I think you're right now.
No. But how is
I'm
the
on
goddess
medication too right now? Well, actually, that's not true. But I'm
no. But you don't. Medication can help your situation. Your situation. It seems like you're. I don't. You said I was a poser. I think you're a poser. Because how are you telling me having the goddess Kali projected on the Empire State Building is something normal? Can you explain to me how, in what universe that could be normal? Explain to me. You're the psychologist. Explain to me the psychology behind your line of reasoning.
What you're saying.
So let me slow it down for you. There was a projection of the goddess Kali on the Empire State Building. The whole building was covered with her face.
Show me.
Why? Show it? You don't know about this?
Show me. No.
Buddy, YouTube it. Kali on Empire State Building.
I did your other one and I didn't find
No. Should be easier. This should be easier. Where do you live? Like you live in the forest, like a hermit or something?
Kali what?
Kali, Kali, on Empire State Building. Just put Kali Empire State Building, and explain to me and people in the crowd, the chat, do the same thing and hold PineCreek to a standard to see if he's really to challenge whether or not he's really a poser, because I believe he's a poser.
Are you talking about this? Can you see me?
Yeah, put it on the screen, or people.
You talking about this?
Yeah, I'm talking about that. What
Now
is
you're
that?
asking me to explain this?
Yeah, tell me, how is that normal?
How is this normal?
Yeah, I'm asking you why is that something normal? Like, it's not the building, right? Somebody added that to a building.
Yeah.
I'm asking you what the reasoning behind that is.
From
your worldview.
Why did someone project this on or made the lights there?
Exactly, because that's not something that happens every day, right? So this is something special, right? So explain to me, according to your worldview, Mr. Atheist, so-called atheist, why would they put that on the screen?
Explain on my atheist worldview why someone would put
so-called.
Kali
I
on
said
a
so-called.
building?
I said so-called.
Because they wanted to?
Oh, that's it? And when you call me a poser, when you say I need medication, buddy, you don't need medication. You need somebody to knock you over the head, to knock some common sense into your head. Okay, they just wanted to, right? So that's your explanation, Mr. Psychologist. That's the best you could come up with? Okay, PineCreek, thank you, man. It's always fun. It's always fun to because you do entertain me. I didn't laugh today. You made me laugh today. So thank you very much. And hopefully you prepare yourself when Jesus comes back, because it's going to be very interesting to see your reaction, because I'm supposed to see your reaction as well, because it's promised that my enemies will bow in front of me as well. So I can't wait to see your face when you do
Bow
that.
in front of you?
Exactly, the children of Israel. Every single enemy.
Oh, that's why you are a believer.
No, that's just the icing on the cake. That's just icing on the cake. That's just icing on the cake. I can't wait to see when I look at you and I say, so what about that Kali situation? Or what about that 70 cycle argument and all of this? And I'm going to see how you're going to react.
70? Did you say 70?
7-day cycle argument when you were panicking, you know? So all of this was there to show you you're a poser. You called me a poser, but you should look yourself in the mirror, man. PineCreek, man. Tell the people to stop following you. Stop lying to them, man. Be a nice guy. You got kids?
Yeah.
You got kids? Do you think that's a good example to lie to people like that?
No.
Like, you're acting like you're an atheist. You're not an atheist.
What's an
you
atheist?
You got hurt. You got hurt.
What's an atheist?
An atheist is a person that claims there's no God. Or and I don't believe
an atheist is someone who claims there's no God?
Exactly.
I claim there's no God. Am I an atheist?
You're a liar. You believe in God. It's just that you don't want to follow him. That's the whole big. That's a big.
What's an atheist? I ask. He answers. An atheist claims there's no God. Well, I claim there's no God. Am I an atheist?
A person.
You're a liar, says
no. A person who actually believes that. That's what an atheist is supposed. I don't believe you actually believe that. That's the difference.
So an atheist is someone who
actually believes there's no God. I'm sorry. Let me refine my definition. Somebody who actually believes there's no God. You believe there is a God. You know there is a God.
How would you know what one actually believes?
Through my interactions with you, man. This is not the first rodeo. This is not our first dance together.
So what would a true atheist who actually believes in atheism, how would they act, and how do I?
They wouldn't panic when I provide them an argument, an infallible argument of the 7-day cycle argument. They wouldn't panic, as you did. When I showed you the picture on the Empire State Building, you try to make it seem like I'm the one who's crazy here, but buddy,
I didn't try. I didn't try.
No, you tried. Even people in your crowd, 100% of the people in your crowd know you're crazy. They're still gonna follow you, but at least
I've
one
been
or
tested.
two.
Have you been tested?
No, tested for what?
To see if you're crazy or not. No,
How do we know?
I have actually never been tested to see if I'm crazy, but I've had my IQ tested. Have you?
No, let me put it like this. Anybody who watches that picture on the Empire State Building and doesn't see something weird should not be testing anybody. That's for sure. So forget about being tested.
It was actually quite pretty.
I know, you need some help. You need some help.
You didn't think it was pretty, the colors?
Yeah, you should go on a date with her. Remember, she decapitates people's heads.
I do agree it's kind of weird, like, but
oh, now you're switching your stance now.
But
hey!
it's a pretty weird.
Oh, it's a pretty weird. You like them pretty weird, huh?
I think my guess is some Hindus did this just to bother people like you, and they were successful.
Buddy, I'm not impact. I've seen not weirder, but more wow stuff than this. This is nothing impactful in my life. It was there, and I was going through what can I say to PineCreek to see how weird he is, or how can I expose him as a poser, and I did that. I just should give you an example. This is weird, and you're acting like it's not weird.
How old are you?
Old enough, PineCreek.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. You're old enough to, like, at some point in your life, you're going to realize that this need for you to win. Like, when do you think that will stop for you?
PineCreek, let me help you out, all right, Mr. Dr. Phil. I don't need to win. I win. It just comes with the territory. As being a child of God, the victory is assured. So I don't need to win. I don't work for this. It's effortless. Once you watch this video back again, watch it with your kids and let them and don't talk to your kids.
Like,
right?
I'm actually feeling a little ashamed of myself right now.
Okay, I know. Reverse psychology. It doesn't work with us. I want you to watch
for having
my part
on here.
Yeah, I understand. You're gonna kick me off soon. Watch this with your kids. Don't tell them anything, and ask them, "Hey, kids, how did you feel my interaction with this guy is?"
You know what they're gonna
say. And I guarantee you, they're gonna look at you weird. They're gonna look at you weird.
You have no self-awareness. My kids will listen. If I do what you say, my kids will watch this and they'll say, "Dad, shame on you for allowing this mentally ill person on your show."
No, they're not gonna say that. That's the propaganda that you're trying to trickle down to your kids, which is actually a crime against humanity.
And
you shouldn't have kids.
What? I'm gonna agree with
you.
them.
Shouldn't have kids. You shouldn't have kids. But
I would say,
just tell them.
You're
just
probably
tell them
right.
to watch.
I should not be doing this. Man, I need someone to encourage me here. These people vote? Probably not. They can vote, but people like this, my guess is, can't get things lined up in their life enough to vote. By the way, this is a good, let me put it in politics here. This is a good reason why it should be a little difficult to vote. Oh, Democrats are going to hate what I'm about to say. Some Democrats are going to hate what I'm about to say. But it should be a little difficult to vote. So people like what we just heard can't vote. It should not be extremely easy to vote. It should be a little tough. It should have to plan a little bit, go through like 3 little hoops, just to show that you care enough about what you're voting for. Think about that. Think about this conversation the next time you hear someone say, it should be easy to vote. This guy is definitely a Republican vote. Don't be so quick. Probably would vote some 3rd, 4th, 5th party thing. Nathan, you're under the impression that most of the crazy people lean right. You need to rethink that. I'm on the assumption that it's a pretty even distribution. You got just as much crazies on the left as right. What about ranked choice voting? I like that. I don't know PineCreek. I know a lot of people who believe crazy stuff like this, but can still make a decent living in the world. Oh, yeah, you're thinking about Kanye West? Good point. Just different types of crazy. Yeah, probably right. The prophet, are you there? I need a prophet in my life right now. Can't hear you. Oh, I can see something a little different. Try talking again. You got to unmute yourself. No, can't hear anything. Still can't hear you. Yes, now I can. Doing well. Have we talked before?
No, we have not, but it'll be quick. Just a little thought experiment for you. Just finished a book. It's a trilogy, and they give you the whole premise of this book is there's a good and an evil god, and the struggle of figuring out which is which. So the premise is that we've got two views, right? So the main characters that you're getting, their view of the world is we got a good god, created the world, the good things in it, created fate, that general thing, and there's a bad god, created bad stuff, whatever, all that stuff. You know how that goes. Their idea is eternal struggle. They're fighting with the good god to fight against the bad god, right? The view that you as the reader get is that what actually is happening in this world is the good god created the world, created all the good stuff, created everything that is good and all that, and then fucked off and died. And the bad god immediately took his place and has since then been commanding the people, pretending to be the good god. The struggle that happens throughout the whole thing is these characters can't seem to figure out which is which. And I just wanted to see what you thought about it, if you were ever gonna, if you know that they would be interested, and I'll leave for you because I don't need to stay on.
I have no thoughts. Thanks for coming on. What was that? Can someone explain to me what that was? One of the worst things in life for me when it comes to conversations is when someone says blah 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 blah. So what are your thoughts on that? I hate that type of question. Let me talk for a few minutes, not even trying to keep your attention, and then ask, what's your thoughts on that? Do better, society. Do better, people. This is why I ask short, simple questions. It works. It's engaging. Sometimes I have to talk a little bit, like, hey, so you're up in heaven with Yahweh. What's that you say? I'm up in heaven with Yahweh? Yeah, you're up in heaven with Yahweh. See, isn't that way more exciting? And he's going to drown everyone. Or poof them. Which would you choose? He asks you. That's how you communicate, people. Enough with the blah, 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 blah. I just finished a book you haven't read. What are your thoughts on it? Yeah, exactly. Imagine the questions in philosophy lectures at University of PineCreek. I can't imagine being in graduate school in philosophy. Well, maybe graduate school is better than undergraduate. I don't know. It's just a form of self-gratification, isn't it? I gain hope, meaning, and purpose from Doug being cranky. I don't feel like I'm being cranky right now. I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is, if you want to have better conversations with people, that's not how you do it. Doug, how many people say drown? Oh, my experience from the people I've asked, The majority. You usually have the patience of a saint, Doug. It depends. I can feel people out. Like if I choose when I have patience and I choose when I don't. And this day, I have chosen not for most. Because you got to look at the positives and the negatives. Like what's the guy? Stanley. I should not have let Stanley on. That was the guy who was on. Like, why did I let him stay so long? Like, I honestly feel a little bit of guilt there. Because I knew it was him, like in the first few seconds. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I've had people who've said, "Hey, I'm mentally ill, but don't boot me just because of that. You know, give me a chance." And okay, but Stanley, do we give him a chance? No. He's had many chances already. People choose drown. Yeah, people choose drown. But they say it as, I will go with what God did. Mike Winger said drown. Jonathan McClatchy said drown. Trent Horn. Did I ask Trent Horn this question? Forget. I don't think I had a chance. Gotta mute. Gotta be careful. Jesus. Hi, how are you?
Hey, is my audio doing all right?
Yep, you're doing fine.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I hope this is a good conversation for the end of the stream. It's not theist related though. Is that okay for Theist Thursday?
I'll keep you on a short leash. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to ask you, how did you start your conversation with your wife whenever you were trying to convey that you were leaving the faith?
That's a good question. It's so many years ago, it's all fuzzy, but my guess is she started it by noticing changes in me over time and then just coming out and asking, "Are you still Christian?" And then me saying no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there wasn't like, I don't know, because I've been trying to think of how you even start that conversation to begin with. Like, do you pick an easy topic or
what's
start
really
asking
going on
insightful
here?
questions?
You married?
Yeah, like, yes.
Is this what's happening to you?
Pretty much.
You want my advice on how to tell your wife?
No, yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. No, I'm just seeing how you did it.
Okay, do you
Maybe,
think she
use a similar method?
Well, I'm saying I really didn't do it other than she noticing
Yeah.
and then asking. So the key is you got to try to get her to ask you.
Mm.
So she already knows. I'm sure of it. You don't think so?
Doubtful. I mean, all of our circle is still like very much in the church that we go together with. I haven't really brought anything up. So a lot of it's just been like my own journey that I haven't really shared or brought up. So,
but when you're in church, she doesn't notice that you don't have the same oomph like you usually did, or?
I guess not. It's never come up.
Okay, where exactly are you today? Do you believe Jesus is God in flesh and died for your sins?
No.
Okay. So you're basically, do you believe in heaven and hell?
I have to say no at this point.
Do you believe that even a creator God exists?
Doesn't really change anything.
Okay, so at best you're a deist. So yeah, you're fully out.
Right.
Do you have kids?
No. Actually, that's what's spurring a lot of this, is because I know that's in discussions right now. And for me, I'm like, she wants to raise them in the faith. And I could not do that at this point. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you willing to get divorced?
I would not want that, no.
But if what you just said is true, and you tell your wife, does your wife want kids?
Oh, definitely. We both do.
But she would not. You just told me, I think, that she would not want kids if they're not being raised Christian, right?
I don't know that I could say that statement. No, I just said that she would want to raise them in the faith. That's all I said.
Want to raise them in the faith. What does that mean?
Whatever that typically means, like raise them in the church, and
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that. So
yeah, you're in a tough spot, because I have a feeling that if your wife is really strong about that, raising her children in the faith, and then she finds out that her husband's an atheist, now you might have to just bite the bullet and say, okay, my kids will be raised in the faith. Do you want that? It's okay to say yes. I'm not going to judge you.
no, I think the key would just be like teaching them to have an open mind about anything. Like, obviously I wouldn't like promote anything, but if that's the decision they reach on their own, I wouldn't. Like,
I know, but would you be okay? See, this is where I have a problem with Christianity, and in most cases, I am against atheists saying, "Well, religion's child abuse." But imagine your 4-year-old in Sunday school being told that God flooded the earth and that He's going to send judgment. So, not only judgment, but that back then, but He's going to send future judgment, and people will go to hell. Like,
I see what you're saying.
That's pretty serious stuff to tell a young child.
Right.
I personally don't want my child hearing. Well, if they're going to hear something like that, I want them to know that it's probably not true, and it's just a story, right?
Sure.
But if it's being taught as the God's honest truth, that's a problem.
I see where you're coming from with that. I haven't considered that, honestly. So that's something to walk away and think about.
Yeah, that's because I'm picturing your wife as someone who's just wants that perfect life of faith, family, country, and white picket fence. And if you're not willing to go there with her, and if this is important to her, you probably will have to end it before it begins. Like, you do not want to start a family with this type of difference. Like, for me, it was different because my kids were just, I'd say my oldest was 9, 8, I forget now. And maybe 7 and 5. So they were like just coming out of they were just starting to think on their own and ask questions. So it was very easy for them to just really, I didn't have to do anything. They just asked me questions. I gave them honest answers of what I believe in. Within a year or two, they were both out. Like, they were out. And that might happen with you if you have kids. But the thing is, if they're starting at even a younger age, and if they're not allowed, like, here's another thing. If your wife knew that you were, let's say, an atheist, I'm not saying you are, but would she want her kids talking to an atheist about God possibly not existing?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, some hard conversations, hard things to think about, but such is life.
Well,
that's how it goes.
Is there any atheists in your wife's family?
No. Like, very hardcore Christian backgrounds on both sides.
What denomination?
I would just say non-denominational. No, like, necessary affiliation.
Any atheists in your family?
No, none. I come from kind of like a cult background, actually.
Cult?
Yeah. Legitimately, so the guy who led our, like, church kind of, I don't know, background is affiliated with Jim Jones. Like, he and Jim Jones would go on stuff together and preach together. So, yeah. So I got out of that.
How did you find me?
YouTube. is magically suggested. I think I started having, so here's kind of my evolution. I started having questions about, I would say like hell and like the concept of that in Christianity, because it really bothered me. And so once you start questioning that and like seeking answers to that, the YouTube algorithm recommends some different stuff for you. So
you saw some of my videos on hell.
yeah, I really didn't like you at first.
Why is that? Too cranky?
Today, no. I think you were very direct, which now I've come to really appreciate. But at first, it was very off-putting. Just like your style of how you presented things was very challenging to me.
Direct meaning, like I would say, there is no hell.
Yeah, just no beating around the bush. This is how it is. This is how you see it. So
yeah,
it was refreshing.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, usually people who hate me first.
I didn't say hate.
Well, okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Didn't like me at first. Like, why did you watch me a second time?
Oh, that's a great question. Was
I like George Costanza from Seinfeld?
No, 100%. Yeah. No, I was gonna say Satan was pulling on the heartstrings and really drew me back for a second video. So, no, something intrigued me and I kept watching, and then slowly, probably after 5-6 videos, the guards started to fall a little bit, and that was the slippery slope.
Are you scared of your wife seeing this?
Yes, probably.
Is there a chance she might see this?
Yes, maybe.
Oh. She watches my videos?
No, she probably doesn't know who you are.
Okay, then what? So then really there is very little chance she'd see this.
Yeah, it's like, very little chance of your pen falling up, but there's always a chance.
Exactly.
So,
well,
I mean, that was pretty much all I had for you today. Just kind of picking your brain. I don't know if you had any other questions.
Are you struggling right now? You seem like a happy guy. Like,
I'll tell you what's really the worst part is just hating my job right now and trying to find motivation to like do something different, because I pretty much picked like my path because I thought God wanted me like in my career path, if that makes sense. Like, I really thought that it was just like what was set out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I like really don't like what I do, and so I've been working on getting out of it.
What do you do?
I do tax work. So I like started down the CPA path, but I just have not studied and I don't want to pursue it anymore. So, but I have a deadline coming up in a week and a half, and I'm already at 45 hours this week of work. So I'm done.
But besides your work, you're not liking your work. Well, what we've been talking about. Have you lost sleep over? Are you okay with, or?
I used to, used to a lot. It affected my mood a lot, but I took to journaling, so I have like electronic, just like Word documents and stuff, where I've just kind of kept track of all of my thoughts throughout the past like year and a half. And it's crazy to look back and see the evolution of thought, and it's where I'm at now with everything. But I feel good.
Well, that's good.
I think the hard thing is still having a lot of community in like church communities, if that makes sense, and just not having a lot of like-mindedness in my respects now.
Okay, let's try something here. Let's role play. I typically hate role playing, but this is for like for a different reason. Okay. You know your wife well. Pretend you're your wife, and I'll be you. Okay.
Oh gosh. This is gonna be.
What's your wife's first name?
Sunanda.
Sunanda.
We just call her. We call her Soon. Just Suun. Yep.
Okay, so Soon. I have major doubts about Christianity. I haven't told you this. But it's been happening for a while, and I think I need to tell you about it. My doubts.
I'm willing to listen. What's going on?
I just don't think it's true anymore.
So like, you just don't believe in Jesus at all?
Oh, I believe he was a real man, but I don't believe he's God and that he rose from the grave. I just don't believe the really important stuff anymore. And I've been meaning
That's
to tell
going to be
you.
really challenging for us.
I've been meaning to tell you, but it's a pretty long journey. And so yeah, I just want to know, like, would you love me any less if I left Christianity?
See, so cut role play. There's where I would hope the answer would be absolutely, I still do. But I feel like a lot of it's conditional. Like, you would kind of understand this.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times in the faith, it's very conditional on that statement, like your statement of belief. So,
and there's nothing wrong with those conditions as long as they're known ahead of time. But I know in your case, like, you've changed.
right.
And so,
well, that's where it's kind of interesting. I appreciate that you said that, because it has changed. So, like, originally it was a shared condition of ours. Like, we both had the same understanding, and now it's different. And I feel like with something as big as your faith, it's such just a game changer. Like, it feels almost like you're backstabbing on the relationship.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me flip if your wife never, ever, 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 ever left Christianity, and in fact, she became even a stronger Christian, a bigger believer.
Yeah, sure.
Would you love her any less? Would you kind of say, I want out?
I mean, I think the hard thing is, like, a lot of our relationship isn't really based on our shared faith. Like, we've known each other for 13 years, even before getting married. So, we've been friends and have so many common interests that, like, faith isn't, I would say, the central focal point.
Okay.
So I could still say yes to that and still want to be married. But would it present challenges for both of us? Absolutely.
Okay, that's what you just said is very important. Like, if you have other interests outside of religion, that can kind of keep you two together.
I mean, that's why I think nothing has come up yet for us, because it almost seems like not much has changed on our end. It is kind of weird that we haven't really had deep conversations about it yet. Like, I don't know what that means in terms of even her spiritual walk as well. Because you would think at some point conversations would start coming up day to day.
Yeah, well, she doesn't sound like a very serious Christian to me, but yet
she very much is, very much, and like her family too. Like, she serves on the worship team, like, super involved. She's going to Bible study tonight.
Do you have quiet times do you take out the Bible and pray with her?
No, we don't. But she has complained that she's mad about it because I don't lead in that way. So that's where I'm like, maybe this is like the start of something new, right?
Yeah. See, I shouldn't say most Christians of this ilk, they just love it when their husbands pull out a physical Bible that you can touch and lick and sit down and pray and read through it with their wife and the family. Like, this is what they visualize as the perfect Christian man in their head.
Well, this is how her dad is. So I totally understand what you're getting at.
Well, this is the culture of at least Protestant Christianity, evangelical.
So let me ask you this. If I, like, because I know I need to, but so when I start down this journey of, like, explaining where I'm at, how do you think that's going to play out with her family too? Because I know you've probably had those discussions as well with your wife's parents. And
well, they actually both died before. They both died relatively young, so I didn't have that problem.
Okay.
But oh yeah, you got to assume the worst case. You said your church was non-denominational?
Yes.
Do they have excommunication in your church?
No idea. I would doubt it.
Did you sign a membership form at your church?
No, we never signed that. I would never sign that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, if you're a Christian listening, never ever sign a membership card at a church. It's not biblical, so you don't have to. Yeah, and it just nothing but downside.
I would say I have a pretty high BS detector because of where I've come out of, and just my religious background that I think it's hard even for my own wife to kind of share in that perspective because we don't have the same understanding or background that we grew up in. So,
well, you know what? Try this. Let's see what she does.
Okay.
Force the matter in a very gentle, kind way and say, if someone came up to you and asked you, why do you actually think Christianity is true? What would you say? Don't say you're asking it. Say a third party's asking.
Right.
What would you say to this third party?
And just let that play out?
Yeah, just let it play out. And then hear her answer and then ask another question based on that answer.
Okay.
And then, but you're going to use your own doubts as that third party.
Right.
So
yeah,
basically,
so kind of play into it.
Yeah,
but
you're telling her you no longer believe without telling her you no longer believe.
Without her actually knowing. I think that's smart.
And she'll be smart enough to realize what's going on. But it's a non-threatening way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, this has been what kind of keeps me up the most probably is just not coming to grips with myself, but having to convey that to others that are close to me because I'm scared of the repercussions of, what are they going to think? What are they going to do about it?
Are you financially dependent on any of them?
I mean, I bring in the most money, so no, but
on your family, her family, your family?
No, independent.
Okay. Yeah, then you're okay.
Yeah. It's just hard. Taking that first step's hard.
Yeah.
But I like your idea. Play into it a little bit.
Yeah. And then don't go too long. The biggest caveat here is don't spend hours doing this. In fact, try to even have an excuse to get out of it so it's purposely short. So think in your head 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And then and if for some reason it goes south on you, if it goes bad, try to turn it around to something positive that you sincerely both believe is true, and then leave and go do an errand or whatever.
Right. Would you do it in a public setting or private setting? I've always thought about that too.
Well, if you're scared she's going to pull out a knife and kill you, public. If not, then private.
I think we're safe on that front. We're all right there.
The reason why I'm giving you this advice is because you don't have kids. And I think it's advantageous to talk about this, get the ball rolling, the serious conversation, because I actually do believe in the verse, thou shalt not be unequally yoked when it comes to raising kids. Because you can do it, but it's just way more difficult. And if you can head this off at the pass, she might be okay with it. She might say, you know what? If you become an atheist tomorrow, I will still always love you. And, the kids, I would want our kids to hear your side and my side, and they can choose what they... If she answers like that, you're golden. I mean, in fact, your kids are probably going to be way better off in life than kids raised in just an atheist home or just a Christian home because they got both perspectives. But if she comes back and says, I can't imagine you not opening the Bible to our children and praying, and if she answers that way, then you got some tough decisions to make.
Yeah. No, I think that's good input, and I agree with you.
All the best to you. What's your first name? Is it Gus?
Jay. No, Jay. That's my actual.
Jay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in a way I envy you, Jay, because you had this opportunity before you had kids, but it worked out for me in my situation, so I'm not crying or anything, but there's a lot of people in your situation with kids, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think through it ahead of time and be responsible about it in a way. So we'll see. Maybe I'll come back on and give you a update.
Yeah, give me an update. In fact, if it goes well, bring her on too.
There we go.
And if my
That'd be
advice
good.
goes horrible, yeah, just ignore
We'll
me.
keep it off air. Yeah.
Pretend I never existed. Okay, see ya.
Good deal. Thanks, Pine.
Bye. Kind of like it when people call me Pine. Thanks for the donation, Aaron. This guy reminds me of my situation without kids. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Staten Jones, thanks. What is the worst that you've heard of happening if you sign a membership card at church? It's not like... It's just this whole idea of a bureaucracy within a church. But here's an example. Okay, this is sly. This is terrible. But if you don't sign anything, a formal membership card at a church, they can't excommunicate you for any reason. Now, they can ask you politely to leave their church, but if they say, we're asking you to leave because you're a believer and you did X, Y, and Z, you just say, I'm not a believer. I was pretending. But what do you expect from non-believers? They pretend all the time because they don't have the Holy Spirit to guide them to all truth. Oh, I'd be so dangerous in churches. But if for some reason, let's say you have kids at a church, the mother's there, the kids are there, and you want to stay there, and they say, no, we're going to excommunicate you for whatever they think you've done or whatever. They can't if you're not a member. They can't biblically. In their minds, at least. You're welcome. I just gave you a loophole. Ring finger is pinched, Doug. Uh-oh, what'd I do to you, Jeff? Don't blame me for anything. I'm not going to take personal responsibility for any marriages lost. I'm just giving my advice on what to do tomorrow. See, my kids, they're very compassionate towards believers, even though they don't believe. And it's because of their mother. So in a weird way, in a very bizarre world, it is kind of, you can almost form a really good, productive member of society who can communicate with both believers and non-believers if you have a parent that's a believer and a parent that's a non-believer. And then, have one parent, one skin shade, another parent, a different skin shade. So we've got all the bigotry between, the non-believers and the believers, and the bigotry of the different colors. Like my kids, they don't see Christian, they don't see atheist, they don't see black, they don't see white. They just see humans. Those are my kids. They see humans. What do your kids see, huh? Huh? You got some racist kids there? Yeah, my kids, they're not racists. They just hate Americans. No, I'm kidding. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. Thank you for the last call, Jay. I helped with the nicotine withdrawal. Because you got bigger problems than me. Just when I thought my nicotine withdrawal was bad, then you come on and, oh yeah, your life is worse. Do your kids see trans women? Great show with Punchy Doug. Actually, my son's in the drama club, drama team. Fill in the blank. My mother's a mix of Chinese, Dutch, and African tribes, but she's still racist AF. What does AF stand for? Racist as French people? French people are not racist. Racist as... You guys know my view on racism. I don't care if people are racist as long as they don't do anything bad. You can be as racist, all the racist you want. You can hate people all you want as long as you pretend to be nice all the time. This answer hates people. Some people hate that answer. They just like it. Just what makes racism bad is actions. When I gave up Christianity, I gave up thought policing. If you want to think bad thoughts about me and hate me, go for it. I have no problem with that. Just don't hurt me physically. Have a good day, everyone. Poof.